on the hardwood. What? I just like saying the phrase hardwood. 7 o'clock, TLC Double C, ACC Network Extra webcast. That's how big a game this one is.
Yeah, why don't you go to the game then? See it with your own eyes.
There you go. That's what you do. You take it to the game and you celebrate the 2-0, 14th ranked Seminole basketball team. I'll touch on that in a little bit. We got the Willie Taggart interview forthcoming. As it's the Mountain Dew coaches interview. Willie will join us this hour. You'll get to hear from him next, actually. You're going to hear that right now when we come back from this break. All right, then.
Friends.
Jim Gray from Westwood One with a Monday Night Football preview. Remember, tailgate season is better with Dickey's Barbecue Pit. Visit Dickeys.com or use the Dickeys app. Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner will have the call for what should be a very special night when the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams meet. Both come in 9-1 on the season with league-leading stars on both sides. Rams head coach Sean McVay says he really respects the Chiefs.
When you really look at them from afar, they're clearly one of the most explosive teams in the league. Coach Reed is an excellent leader, and they've got playmakers on both sides of the football.
Don't miss this one. Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, and the Chiefs against Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and the Rams. Coming up from the LA Coliseum on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long. Right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Tallahassee's sports monster.
O'Reilly.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a 5 1/4 ounce bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $3.99. Clean and lubricate your fuel system while increasing miles per gallon with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $3.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The holidays are coming, and the tools and the savings that come with them are already here at the Home Depot. If someone on your Christmas list would like some new tools from top brands like Milwaukee, Ryobi, DeWalt, Makita, Husky, or Rigid, make their wish come true and do it with savings that stretch your holiday shopping even further. This is how you gear up for Christmas. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Seminole fans know barbecue, and Tallahassee's best southern barbecue is Willie Jewell's. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue on Thomasville Road. Smoked on site 24 hours a day. Cooked low and slow the old school way. And every meal is served with a side of southern hospitality. And take advantage of the barbecue tailgate special. Pork brisket, chicken ribs, turkey, and wings with all the fixings to make your tailgate the place to pregame. Let Willie Jewell's take the stress out of your next tailgate or event. Willie Jewell's, 5442 Thomasville Road. Go Knowles!
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Hi, I'm Alan Willis, the general manager of 97.9 ESPN Radio here in Tallahassee. We have a rare sales position opening. If you have outside sales experience, a great positive attitude, if you're a team player, passionate about working, love sports, and most importantly, a self-starter with a proven record of success, then email me your cover letter and resume today at alanwillis@979espnradio.com. You'll be responsible for generating new business and growing some existing accounts for the only sports radio station in town through working face-to-face with advertisers and business owners. The advertising business is fast-paced, exciting, and can be lucrative. Our employees are our most important resource. So if you think you have what it takes and are ready to join our winning team, please email me your cover letter and resume today to Alan Willis at 979espnradio.com. That's Alan, spelled A-L-L-E-N. 97.9 ESPN is locally owned and operated station and an equal opportunity employer. No phone calls, please.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
All right, welcome back. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. As we like to do, we bring in the head football coach of Florida State University. He's Willie Taggart, and they're coming off a big win, is Florida State, obviously, which sets up the rivalry game this weekend against Florida. Coach Taggart, congratulations on the win. Hard-fought game, a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a much-needed win, and to be honest with you, I thought it was a win that we needed to win the way that we did. You know, I thought that was important for our football team, too, to be in the ball game and fight for 4 quarters and then find a way at there at the end to where somebody step up and make a play for us. And that's something we've been preaching to our guys all year long. Sometimes it's just guys stepping up and making plays that can change things for you. And those things happen to our guys. We wanted to be physical in this game, and they were.
Yeah, I was going to get to the physicality here in just a moment because it sounded like that was the challenge laid before the team this week, and you talked about it right after the game. But first, I think it's interesting. You said that to win the way that you did, to have to come from behind, to have to fight as hard against a ranked team, against a good defense too. And really there was adversity facing this team throughout. Obviously there was the losing streak, but also your quarterback had a tough first half, but then he showed resiliency in the second half. Cam Akers is a kid that has had a tough year with the expectations being as high as they were. You know, you could see that frustration, but then he ran hard and smart and patient. The line played better in the second half. So you got a lot of the things that you've been preaching, and then you got the just reward as well.
Absolutely, and it was good so our guys can see the hard work and more importantly, understand that if they go do the things that we say that it takes to win, those things can happen for us. But like you said, the resilience that they had and just how they kept fighting and staying together and staying positive throughout the game, and it was neat for me personally on the sideline and just watching our guys because of all the work that they put in throughout the year, each week, and finally putting it together on Saturdays.
Yeah, and it was obvious. Boston College decided in this game, as they often do, that they're going to try to beat you physically. They're going to run the ball. I mean, they were resilient in their own way, but you guys rose to that challenge in this sense. I mean, 37 carries, 117 is not very efficient for Dillon. So this is a group up front. And with that second group, obviously, we talk about the day that Jackson had at linebacker, but a lot of guys had to be willing. And, you know, Coach, I mean, you got to willing to put your head in there against a kid that big and to run fit and to sometimes wear it so somebody else gets the glory. That was all on display here.
It was. I mean, I think what was really impressive is how many guys you saw getting to the ball and tackling him. You know, they were all running to the ball, 5 or 6 guys getting after him. And again, that was a challenge for our guys throughout the week. And you think about the games before where we haven't really performed well, especially in our rush defense. And I know Coach Barnett simplified some things and just allowed our guys to go, and it paid off for us.
For those wondering at home, it was only 4.9 yards per play for Boston College. On the offensive end, Coach, 73 plays, 484 yards, 6.6 yards per play, and a lot of big chunk plays, too. You stuck with the run, you stuck there, but you had the big chunk plays come out of it as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of our offense and what we expect out of our offense. And it was good to see against a good football team that our guys were able to go out and execute in the run game the way that we did. And I think that helped us, and we were consistent and staying committed to the run game throughout the game. And it really helped us stay in that game into the end of the game and give us a chance to, to take the lead there late in the game.
A couple of things here, Coach, I just want to ask you about. It's interesting. It looks like you guys have been more effective in running tempo the last couple of weeks. It seems like we're getting more plays in now. What do you attribute that to? Is that a comfort within the offense? Is that delegation? What is it exactly?
Well, it's just getting back. I know going back last week, I told our football team, we've gotten so far away from who we say we're going to be on offense or defense and special teams. And, defensively, Coach Barnett from day one, he always talked about playing fast, physical, and aggressive. We needed to do that. We challenged our guys. Let's get back to doing and being who we say we're going to be. And our defense did that on Saturday. And same thing with our offense. We said we're going to be lethal simplicity from day one, and we got away from that, with the tempo and explosive plays. And I challenged our guys, our coaches and players last week. Let's get back to who we say we're going to be, and let our guys play. And it paid off for us because I think we simplified some things on both sides of the ball and committed to what we said we're going to do. We wanted to be up-tempo and go faster, and we did that.
Here it is, Coach, your first Florida State-Florida game as head coach at Florida State University. As a kid who grew up in this state, you watch this game just like you did the FSU-Miami game. You know what this rivalry means, and now an opportunity to keep the bowl streak alive to go along with it. I guess talk about your mindset as you get set to prepare for a huge game on Saturday.
Well, we got a big game. It's a very important game. Like you said, it's a rival game, and you really don't have to do anything to motivate individuals around here for this game. Guys will be ready to play. Coaches will be ready to coach. Trainers will be ready to tape ankles and be ready to go. Again, you can throw the records out and the yardage out. You can throw all those things out because on Saturday, both teams going to come and try to tear each other's head off, and it'll be a fun, competitive football game.
I did a thing at the beginning of the year, Coach, in camp where you were blowing the whistle after a touchdown play, almost a celebration of it. And then on Saturday, in the video of you guys dancing, there was that whistle again. Is that a special whistle, or is that just your thing?
It's just my whistle. I had it. It was around my neck, and blew it. One of those moments you just get caught up in the moment with the guys. It was fun to see the excitement by those guys and how excited they were. And he's standing there. He's like, you might as well join in with him. It's pretty cool.
Hopefully you're blowing the hell out of that whistle again on Saturday, Coach. I'll talk to you again soon. Be well, sir.
Hey, thank you very much, and go Noles.
All right, take care. That's Willie Taggart, head football coach at Florida State, as he gets set for now Florida State, Florida. And, we talked all of last week. If you get this win against Boston College, it's more than just a rivalry game. There's something at stake here. There's something tangible that can result in a win here, which is the bowl streak stays alive, and how it would change mentalities, how it would change your view of what this season has been, which has been difficult without question. But a win here, and you've gone back to a bowl, and you've done something that seemed rather improbable at varying points this year. You think back to that Syracuse game and how lopsided that was. You think when they were down big in the second half against Louisville, they rallied to get that win. Then you blow the lead against Miami. At varying points, there were lots of times, I guess you could say, where you thought, well, that's going to be it. That's a wrap. And certainly in the midst of a 3-game losing streak where you're giving up a ton of points and teams are doing whatever they want to do against you, you're starting to think, I don't know if they're going to rise to the occasion. But they're one win away against their arch rival on noon on Saturday from saying, nope, we did it. We kept it alive. We've got something to build on. And it's needless to say, I think, at this point, that all of those extra practices you would get by becoming bowl eligible would be absolutely huge. Because if you think about all the young guys that made plays in this game, whether it's the Tamorrion Terry catch at the end there, obviously he's a young player doing special things. You think about Cam Akers, you think about Helton, you think about so many guys that they've used in ways that, Trayshawn Harrison, we saw him again this weekend. So many guys are going to be a big part of what you're building on here, could really benefit from those practices. And needless to say, obviously, a win over your rival is a win over your rival. That was the Mountain Dew coaches interview. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio continues.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Do your hair a favor by checking in online and arriving just in time for your Sport Clips MVP haircut experience while you surround yourself with sports on TV, a great cut, massaging shampoo, and a hot steam towel. Claim your spot today. SportClips.com/check-in.
Hi, I'm Jesse Ross, owner and co-founder of Lake Tribe Brewing right here in Tallahassee. When my father, my 2 brothers, and I started Lake Tribe, we had one simple goal: to create great tasting quality craft beer that reflects our love for the great outdoors and have some fun along the way. If you're in town with 80,000 of your like-minded friends, stop by the brewery off West Tharp Street for a pint or a flight of our vast selection of Lake Tribe beer on tap. Or stop by at the next gathering of the Garnet and Gold. We're open Thursdays and Fridays 4 to 9 and Saturdays from 1 to 9. Lake Tribe Brewing. Find your native spirit.
Time now for the Tampa Bay Lightning Report, brought to you locally by Township of Tallahassee.
The Tampa Bay Lightning get set to take on the Nashville Predators tonight on the road. These 2 teams are playing their second of 2 meetings this season and the only meeting at Bridgestone Arena. Nashville won the previous meeting 4-1 back on November 1st at Amalie. The Lightning will be wrapping up their 4-game road trip tonight. The team is 2-1 so far on this 4-game road trip, as they currently have the best record in the Eastern Conference. John Cooper said earlier today that Cedric Paquette is out, but it's not long-term. He took a block shot in Saturday's game against the Philadelphia Flyers. And as expected, Anton Strawman will miss tonight's game as well. Look for Louis Domingue to get the start in net tonight for the Lightning. Pre-game coverage on the network side begins at 7:30 with the puck dropping at 8 o'clock. With your Lightning Report, I'm Greg Linnelli.
At Township and College Town, for the table, by the people is not just lip service, it's their mantra. Tallahassee's largest beer hall offers drafts served in steins plus a unique twist on upscale pub fare. Just walk up and order for the table and grab a seat by the people. Some you may not even know. If you're looking for a more intimate gathering, Township offers The Garden, a unique setting to Tallahassee complete with outdoor fireplace and a retractable awning. And let's not forget the 32 taps and a private bar. Book it for your next party or company event. Township Tallahassee, 619 Woodward Avenue in College Town.
Shop Lowe's for early Black Friday deals and save $30 on a 4-tool 20-volt Craftsman Combo Kit. The kit features a drill, impact driver, reciprocating saw, task light, 2 batteries, and more, all for just $169. These tools use an interchangeable battery system that works with all tools in the 20-volt lineup, so you get the runtime you need and the power you deserve. Get yours today and save at Lowe's, the new home of Craftsman. Offer valid 11/14 through 11/21 while supplies last. See store for details. U.S. only.
Football season is here, and you know what that means. Time to get together with friends over an ice-cold drink and some great food. What better place than Fire Betty's and Fox and Stag? They're expanding their food menus and would love for you to come over and give them a try, along with a unique craft cocktail or cold beer. Follow Fire Betty's, Fox and Stag on Instagram or Facebook for daily food and drink specials, as well as special events. Fox and Stag and Fire Betty's, located at the Manor in Midtown, serving food and drinks 6 days a week.
Football is in the air, temps are hot in Tallahassee, and so are the deals at Kevin's Fine Outdoor Gear. Regardless of the score, you still need to stock up on all your outdoor needs to get the job done. Kevin's is the area's top outdoor retailer, featuring thousands of hunting supplies from top manufacturers in the business. If hunting's not your thing, shop their great fishing tackle selection, including Shimano, G. Loomis, St. Croix, and much, much more. Need tailgating supplies? Kevin's has the largest selection of Yeti products in North Florida. Find them at 3350 Capitol Circle Northeast, just south of I-10 exit 203. Only minutes from FSU.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. What a way to cap off Week 11. 9-1 Rams versus the 9-1 Chiefs on Monday Night Football. The team's near the top of the league when it comes to overall offense, points scored, and passing yards by quarterbacks Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes. Getting to Mahomes isn't the only aspect of KC's offense LA's defense needs to be concerned with, explains ESPN's Ryan Clark.
If I'm the Rams, can I stop the run? Last week, you give up over 250 yards rushing to the Seattle Seahawks, and now you're playing Kareem Hunt, the defending rushing yards leader. And if they get the ball going that way, how do you stop them? How do you figure out ways to get to Patrick Mahomes? How do you stop the passing game if Kareem Hunt is dashing and slashing you all game long?
Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. From ESPN's Adam Schefter, Lions running back Kerryon Johnson has a sprained knee, does not need surgery, will be considered week to week. No update yet from Detroit on Johnson's status for the Thanksgiving Day game versus the Bears. Redskins expected to sign free agent quarterback Mark Sanchez to back up Colt McCoy, reports ESPN's Field Yates. According to Titans coach Mike Vrabel, quarterback Marcus Mariota knocked out of the loss to the Colts with a stinger. A second opinion is possible for Mariota, but the team is hoping he feels good enough to play against the Texans next Monday night. NBA, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting the struggling 5-11 Wizards have started to deliver the impression to teams that every player on their roster, including John Wall and Bradley Beal, is available to discuss in trade scenarios. Washington's preference remains to reshape the franchise around the two All-Stars, but poor play among key teammates is limiting their trade value and paralyzing the Wizards' efforts to make meaningful changes to a roster that no longer appears functional together.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Florida State basketball tonight. Touch on it in a moment. First, though, I must comment on the hideous nature of that Alex Smith injury. Woo! Flippity floppity. Did you watch that in super slow-mo?
Sure did.
The old broken tibia and fibula.
That was
doubling down
on the 33rd anniversary of Joe Theismann. Is that right?
Who was in attendance?
Oh my gosh!
Well, if you're Washington, you get the upgrade of Colt McCoy at quarterback, and that's probably helpful in a division where it's still jumbled. But beyond that, obviously, you feel for the guy. My goodness gracious! I just watched it again.
Did you?
I can't help myself. I watch those things. Well, because the bone doesn't jut out. You know, any injury where I see the bone like pierce the sock or come out, I can't watch that. But if it's all contained, then I can watch it. It's when he gets rolled over and you just see it dangling about.
Yeah.
That you realize, my God, he handled. By the way, he's a tough dude.
He is a tough dude.
He handled that well.
Tough guy in the playoffs. Tough guy in a moment like that too.
Just not a very good player, but he is tough.
I dispute that.
He's been awful this year. Awful. But, hey, you got a guy you love coming in to replace him, though. And there you go.
I guess.
Now he'll lead you. Now the ball will travel more than 5 yards down the field.
You think it's an upgrade for Colt McCoy to take over for Alex Smith?
I'm not questioning it. I absolutely do. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's a big upgrade. You got a fighting chance now if you're a Washington fan. You had no chance with Captain 5 yards.
Go from first place to
they were losing anyhow. This team's terrible. Yeah, he was awful against us. He's not any good. But
that's so oversimplified and not true.
All right. You be the captain of the Alex Smith fan club. He sucks, but you do that. Go look at his yards per pass this year. He's been terrible. But he usually is. Now, of those kinds of guys, there are lots of them in the league. It's not just him. But he's not an elite or even – he's a middling quarterback. There you go. I'll do that.
Well, that's better than not any good. All right. We made progress.
He's not very good. I mean, I would rather have, I don't know, Colt McCoy. TJ Yates. I'll take
TJ Yates.
I'll take EJ Manuel maybe.
EJ, really?
Somebody will throw the ball.
So EJ Manuel's going to
outduel
outduel Drew Brees in the playoffs.
Oh, I didn't say that. No. And by the way, you give him credit for that.
That's 2 game-winning drives.
You give him that credit for that game by ignoring the breadth of his career. I mean,
he's got it in him. He also dropped. I mean, listen, it's not his fault that they blew the lead in the 2014 playoffs against Indy. That was atrocious. They're up like 40 to 14.
I understand. There's a couple of games you can point to. I agree. You can look at the entirety of his career, though, and know that he is the king of the tight end.
Not saying he is Drew Brees. I'm just saying he's got it in him to rise up and play some big games where a lot of
But
quarterbacks...
I also think, and this is the weird thing about him, those moments have existed, but he has, for whatever reason, been steadily reverting back to the thing that he needed to come out of for that brief period of time where he did, and then he went right back into that shell of check, check, check. And to me, that would be about, if you think that that's in him, then somebody's got to scream, look, stop doing that. Stop doing that.
The killer blow to my argument is say, look at Mahomes and look what he's doing in Kansas City. It's mostly the same team that Alex Smith was captaining last year. Although he has the worst luck in the world in the playoffs. I mean, I'm serious. So the year that the Giants go and they win the whole thing, Ginn is not available for that game in the NFC Championship. That's after they beat New Orleans. And they have, a muff punt down the stretch?
Right.
And that's how they lose that game? Then he has the Kansas City-Indianapolis thing. And then last year, remember the Tennessee game? He plays really well in that game, and they drop 2 or 3 passes in key moments that are wide open and in the hands.
His problem is, and you're right, he's had moments where he's looked good. He doesn't consistently do it over the course of a season, and he does love to check down to non-receivers at that, which is always amazing. But I don't understand how, if what you have in you is this ability on these occasions that you're noting, then why isn't it ever sustained? How do they never convince him to continue to be that guy?
Well, I think, honestly, he's probably the perfect quarterback for Dirk Cutter in the sense that he's not going to lose because he knows so many teams go out and lose football games. So all I got to do is tread water, and we'll finish with a winning record and get to the playoffs, and then it's time.
Which, by the way, and I'm not even kidding, Colt McCoy can do. The knock on Colt McCoy is the knock on Alex Smith.
What's that? That he's too conservative?
Oh, very.
I just don't know that he's as gifted, though. He can't run the ball as well as Alex can.
No, but Alex isn't running around anymore. I mean, at this stage in his career, I don't think he's really sprinting around. We don't think of Alex Smith going to kill you with his legs. He's an athlete.
No, I mean, he wouldn't kill you. Last year he had 355 yards. I mean, that's more than
What's he doing now?
He was 168 on 41, so averaging over 4 carry, has 1 touchdown.
Yeah, so he's not – I mean, that's not – when we think of the modern-day quarterback who comes in who can hurt you with his legs.
Right. No, he's
not.
He's a 3rd and 2. You roll him out, and he can. That's an option on the play quarterback.
He's like Tannehill in that way.
Yeah, it's like you roll out Brady. He's not running for 2.
No.
Yeah.
Florida State basketball tonight, and it's been forever and a day since we've played. Canisius comes into town at 1-1, and Florida State, obviously, a team here that now that we sit in the top 20, you look at each game and think, all right, well, we're the better team. It's weird to say that, right? Until you get into ACC play, often that's going to be the case. Although, if you look ahead in this thing, there'll be some moments, right? Going to have to guard the three-point line, Purdue and all that. Yeah, I mean, this will be fun. But tonight's game is really about staying in front of a quick team who's a lot smaller. And let's see if in fact, they do that. I'm always interested in how the break affects a team. It was a scheduling quirk, I guess you could say, that you would have this much time off. We've been steady watching the rest of the country play college basketball while we sat around. At the same time, if you're about to embark on a 4 games in 7 days, okay, I got to imagine you're well rested, at least the first part of this. And I would think the defensive intensity, which was so good against Tulane in Florida, will be good again tonight.
That's the thing. Do you play, Kumaje for big minutes, and then he just stands underneath the rim? And so if they get biased, we just, redirect shots, those types of things. Or do we play small and overwhelm them? I mean, you could see a scenario by which we play smallish for us, which is still pretty big compared to, a lot of teams in the country.
Well, yeah.
And you overwhelm them. And you just take over, and a lot of transition baskets, a lot of easy baskets. But, if we're not making jump shots because we are rusty, then, this could be something at the under 8 timeout in the first half where you go, a little 26-22, huh? All right, here we go.
Yeah, I imagine there'll be moments where we do look rusty. The one thing I like going into the game tonight, besides the fact that we're the better team, is the fact that they're willing to share. This is a group that'll play it whatever way you want to play it. They can get up and down the floor, but they can play in half court, and nobody cares about their shot. If it's within the flow of the offense, then you're all right.
This is a tough week and a half, obviously, because of the amount of games you play. But, not having Kofor, I think, rears its head at some point over this stretch. If it doesn't, then this could be a truly interesting year and a fun one to watch. But the level of talent as we get further on into this sequence is going to get tougher and tougher. And I don't know that it rears its head tonight, but if you can help it, the more people you can play tonight, the better to help yourself on the back end of this stretch.
The Golden Griffins, by the way, the mascot for Canisius. That's always interesting. The Golden Griffins.
Golden Griffins.
They're the gold. You know, when I was a kid, and you probably do this now, we all do, right? You cover sports, you love sports, you're passionate about it. If you sit around and start talking mascots or nicknames, you can go through and play that game, and people can throw it back and forth at you, and you get most of them right. I would have never had a guess in hell for the Golden Griffins.
Never heard of that. Like, usually it's like, well, two teams at least have this weird, obscure name. But I've never heard of a griffin, first of all. I know what it is, but I've never heard of a griffin as a mascot, let alone a golden griffin to differentiate from the rest.
Golden griffin. The mascot's kind of funny. I'm looking at it right now.
I wonder if it'll be here. That'd be pretty cool. Cimarron and the Golden Griffin.
I want the Golden Griffin to be as goofy as Cimarron. I want, like, somebody dressed up like that roaming through the stands.
Did you see, I don't know if it was in the Bahamas or where, but St. Joe's was playing in a tournament last week. And every time there was a halftime that you saw the St. Joe's freaking highlights. But they have a hawk or something is their logo?
Yeah, they do. There's a person in it. And it's been in a fight before, if I recall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it got into a fight with another mascot years ago.
They're Philly, right? So that would make sense.
That would make sense.
All it did for highlights for 2 days, 2 different games, it stands in the corner and it just flaps its wings and it's staring at the court. It doesn't react to made shots, missed shots, blocked shots. It just stands there and constantly, it's like a GIF. It just does the exact same thing over and over and you're mesmerized by it. It's hilarious.
That and the tree. The tree for Stanford is perfect, too. I always want the tree to be wandering around that back baseline, staring, oblivious to what's going on around it.
I just wonder if, they played Cal in the 60s or 70s and what those students who might have been there under a different state of mind would think when they saw the tree.
The 70s especially.
Probably had them running out of the building. What is that?
I bet they were like, that's awesome. I don't care if we win this game or not. Look at that thing, man.
It like waves to the side and then it waves up and down and it makes no sense, man.
If Florida State, if you're talking about the 4 games in 7 days, what do you go? 3-1 here?
I'd love a 3-1.
I'll take 3-1. I was trying to go through and, I've gotten really, really greedy with this basketball team.
Well, you got 5 games starting tonight, including the Purdue, right? Because you got 3 in the tournament. We got Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So you got 5.
Woo!
Depends on the competition about 3-2 and 4-1, I think. Because if you get in the winner's bracket and you have to draw 2 really tough teams, plus Purdue on the very end of that stretch, that's tough.
That is tough. But then again, 81-60 in that first game against Florida, 80-69 here. We're scoring points, we're playing defense. I would say win, and then a win over UAB. And then, like you said, you have that, Friday game. That's at the Lake Buena Vista.
Yeah, I don't know what time that one is. It probably depends on the result. Thursday night, which is 9:30, I think it starts with UAB.
Yeah, and the Purdue game you mentioned is Wednesday, November the 28th. And what we'll do is make sure we have Coach Hamilton on between that time and this time. We'll do it up. We'll have another one to preview through because you get that Purdue win, buddy. We were rolling in the non-conference, and all of a sudden, and also we're pumped now about what you saw UConn do. That's a different-looking game now.
Yep, totally different game.
All right, good. I'll probably get tested. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to shift gears. Hour number 2, fourth coming. Stay with.
Shop Kohl's.com for Black Friday deals Monday through Friday. Plus, get more bang for your buck with $15 Kohl's Cash for every $50 spent. Get $17.99 toys, a diamond pendant necklace, $99.99, $8.99 throws or decorative pillows, $19.99 comforters and sheets, and $20 and under women's sweaters. Shop Kohl's.com for Black Friday deals Monday through Friday. And stores open Thursday at 5 p.m. Kohl's. Select styles. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, listen to Dave.
Andro 400, I really love it. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy. It feels like I'm 25. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man.
Andro 400 Max, an extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Go to andro400.com or call 888-510-9336. That's 888-510-9336.
This is Chris Kraft with news that is sure to change the car buying landscape in North Florida. My brother Peter and I are now the proud new owners of the Infiniti dealership in Tallahassee, the all-new Kraft Infiniti. As Mercedes-Benz dealers for over 25 years early in our careers, we know how to sell and service Highline vehicles the right way. At Kraft Infiniti, our mission statement is simple: to provide our customers with a car buying experience that is unsurpassed in value, consideration for your time, and pure enjoyment. Finally, the Highline experience you deserve, and it's from the Kraft brothers. Infiniti is much more than a brand name. It's a lifestyle and it's a statement. And at Kraft Infiniti, Peter and I will go beyond your expectations in providing the best sales and service experience in Tallahassee. So come see us at the all-new Kraft Infiniti, beyond your expectations, and brought to you by the Kraft brothers. Kraft Infiniti, 3355 Capitol Circle Northeast, conveniently located between Home Depot and the I-10 flyover. Call 297-1488 or visit us on the web at craftinfinity.com.
Working on the car, huh?
Yeah, it's been stalling.
It could be friction from your floor mats.
No.
Oil change too? Better change your oil fuses.
Nice try. Hand me that Purolator Boss filter.
Wow. Protects up to 15,000 miles?
Right. Nothing gets by Purolator. Or me.
Great. Now let's demagnetize those floor mats.
This is sad now.
Purolator Boss Premium Oil Filters. Available where quality auto parts are sold. Nothing gets by us.
Whether you're a professional athlete, casual player, or simply enjoy watching the game on those hard bleachers, any physical activity takes its toll on the body. Athletes require superior amounts of flexibility, speed, coordination, and strength to perform, and they know that treating aches and pains with their chiropractor early is critical to getting back into the game. At HealthSource, our goal is to keep you healthy and playing at the top of your game, whether it's professional sports or simply making it through the work week pain-free. Our team is dedicated to your health, but your aches and pains will never go away if you don't come in and see us. Give us a call today, 877-8980. HealthSource. Don't settle for just treatment. Let us care for you.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. Those 60 cents have been freeloading a ride in me for weeks now. I really don't want to be seen like this. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. It's beneath me. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand, all snug and secure where it won't tip over or roll under your seat or get hot in the sun. So find a store already. Grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. That's what pockets are for. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina. And presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. What a way to cap off Week 11. 9-1 Rams versus the 9-1 Chiefs on Monday Night Football. The team's near the top of the league when it comes to overall offense, points scored, and passing yards by quarterbacks Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes. Getting to Mahomes isn't the only aspect of KC's offense LA's defense needs to be concerned with, explains ESPN's Ryan Clark.
If I'm the Rams, can I stop the run? Last week, you give up over 250 yards rushing to the Seattle Seahawks, and now you're playing Kareem Hunt, the defending rushing yards leader. And if they get the ball going that way, how do you stop them? How do you figure out ways to get to Patrick Mahomes? How do you stop the passing game if Kareem Hunt is dashing and slashing you all game long?
Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. From ESPN's Adam Schefter, Lions running back Kerryon Johnson has a sprained knee, does not need surgery, will be considered week to week. No update yet from Detroit on Johnson's status for the Thanksgiving Day game versus the Bears. Redskins expected to sign free agent quarterback Mark Sanchez to back up Colt McCoy, reports ESPN's Field Yates. According to Titans coach Mike Vrabel, quarterback Marcus Mariota knocked out of the loss to the Colts with a stinger. A second opinion is possible for Mariota, but the team is hoping he feels good enough to play against the Texans next Monday night. NBA, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting the struggling 5-11 Wizards have started to deliver the impression to teams that every player on their roster, including John Wall and Bradley Beal, is available to discuss in trade scenarios. Washington's preference remains to reshape the franchise around the two All-Stars, but poor play among key teammates is limiting their trade value and paralyzing the Wizards' efforts to make meaningful changes to a roster that no longer appears functional together.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great Monday, everybody. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free always. Don't miss anything. If you do miss something, we make it easy on you. You can go back, get caught up, as all 3 hours are posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Of course, that website, WTSM app, all those things. Email the show if you want, jcs@979ESPNradio.com. This is what we're wont to do on Mondays. In addition to having Willie Taggart on, we have our good buddy Irash Shafel of WarChant.com, and he joins us right now. Hello, good sir.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm well, man. What a fun game. Rewarding game for those guys. It was neat for me. I don't know. I texted you during the game, but I know you were in lockdown business mode, but I was doing the sideline watching for you on Saturday.
That's right.
I was right there on the one. I was right there on the 50. I was in row 1. I listened to and watched everything that they did. And one thing is true for sure. The intensity, the focus, the togetherness, the want to, the desire, all those things absolutely in place. And I think that came across. I think that was the most heartening thing here is that you've had a season where at times effort came into question. You wonder in a season like this if the message goes flat. They cared on Saturday. They cared a lot.
Yeah, and I think that was evident in the fact that they were able to withstand some early problems. I mean, that was kind of the big question about this team. We've seen, week in, week out is how are they going to handle it when they turn the ball over? And sure enough, they turned it over early in that game and gave Boston College chances to kind of put them away, and they didn't let them do it. I think that was real impressive. And, I think to Willie's credit, we can question some of the things, that they've done as a coaching staff. They've done a really good job of not getting down on the kids, and I think that's been a key. Is they have, other than the one time when Willie said that some guys quit in the Clemson game, for the most part, he's been their biggest cheerleader even during tough times. And I think that's starting to pay off.
Yeah, they in turn rewarded him with an effort that they can all be proud of. We questioned going into the game this week. I thought they'd have a chance to win the game and said as much repeatedly, but it all was going to hinge on whether or not they wanted to compete physically to shut down the running game. It sounds like that was the challenge laid out before the team on offense and defense, was kind of maybe a test of manhood, right? Like a little questioning of whether or not you had what it took to rise up and meet that physicality. When you look at those run stats for BC, they're ugly. This Florida State defense was ready to stop the run.
Yeah, and we talked about last week. We weren't sure what has gone wrong with Florida State's run defense the last few weeks. Was it simply the fact that they were playing teams that had better quarterbacks? They kind of opened things up because they had to back off a little bit in the run defense, or had they maybe just kind of given up after that Clemson game up front and just started going around blocks and not really trying to be physical? Well, they answered that in a big way Saturday, because that kid is a really impressive physical dude. He's 245 pounds. When he gets a head of steam, he's tough to deal with, and they were relentless. I mean, it was kind of like watching like in a Star Wars movie where they're just like pelting the Death Star with like a million shots, and like it's not having any impact at all, but you just keep plugging away, and I was impressed. I mean, I just was impressed by how many times they hit that kid and never really backed down.
Yeah, and I thought that they celebrated. Willie told me today that he thought they needed to win the game the way that they did. It wasn't just that they got to win, but it was the way that they won the game. And I wonder what your thoughts are on that, what that shows him is what? That they're mentally stronger than maybe they thought they were, that there's a mental and physical fortitude there that's been lacking. What do you think he meant by they needed to win this game the way that they won this game?
I think it's an interesting comment. I think you could mean it in a couple different ways, and they'd all be valid. But one way I think is, the fact that they didn't. It wasn't easy. It wasn't a game where they just out-athleted Boston College. Because if you do that, what do you really accomplish?
Right.
I mean, okay, we've got better athletes than you do. We got a lead. We ran away with it. We won the game. That's easy enough. But to get behind and have it really be, it was kind of played the way you would think Boston College would want it to be played. It was low scoring. They got a lead. You'd think maybe they could salt it away, but the FSU defense never gave up. The other thing is, I think that on offense, they executed when the game was on the line in a really big way. And I think that last play, we can boil it down to, hey, Tamarian Terry's a freak, and DeAndre Francois threw a great deep ball. But a lot of things had to really go right on that play. I mean, you had tight end dragging across the middle to bring the safety up. You got Jacquez Patrick coming over in pass protection to help because a defensive end's coming free on that play because Brady Scott really struggled with that kid. And Jacquez Patrick gives him the time. DeAndre Francois had a clean pocket, was able to step up and make the throw. So they executed not an easy play, a long developing play in a huge moment, and I think that was big for that offense.
And they had set it up earlier, and that's the other part about this offense that I do like. It's the one thing that we have been able to say is that from a coaching standpoint, they scheme things and set you up for things down the road. Remember the Louisville game? They did the same thing, that one smooth opening drive where you get the tunnel screen for the touchdown. They had set all that up with things they had shown on film before. This group is good at putting that together. I think if you're a Florida State fan listening to this, there's your hope that if they can physically block things up, they're scheming stuff open. They're scheming guys for plays that are going to be impact plays later in the game. You'll love to see it culminate in that situation the way that it did, obviously with a game-winning touchdown, and then you get a subsequent stop on defense. Now the Florida game, I go into this game feeling pretty good about it, I'll be honest with you. Ira, where's your head at the beginning of the week here as Florida State gets set to take on Florida?
I mean, I'm with you. It's really weird to me to hear some people talk about this game. Well, I've heard, I've heard a few people talk about it like it's going to take some heroic effort for Florida State to win this game. And I get it. Florida's got an 8-3 record, but we've also seen them get embarrassed at home a couple times. They were listless against South Carolina and came back and won that game. They've to some degree, I don't know that they're much different than the team from a year ago. They've made a few more plays. They've avoided some mistakes. They haven't let Franks beat them. But yeah, just the one thing I think that would concern me a little bit is from I think Dan Mullen has infused them with some confidence. They're 3-0 on the road. I think that's an impressive stat, especially for a first-year coach. So I think they believe. I think they believe in what they're doing, and that's that they've had some comeback wins. So they'll be confident, and I think they'll be resilient. But man for man, I don't think this is a game where Florida State should be, how are we going to overcome all of these challenges to win this game? They just have to not kill themselves, and then play a good, strong game. And another thing that I thought we saw in that Boston College game was FSU's playmakers made plays. Tamarian Terry makes the earlier catch where he kind of climbs over the DB to make the catch. Keyshawn Helton with some plays. DJ Matthews and Naquan Murray. I mean, their playmakers started making plays, and I think that is another thing that I think they've got more playmakers overall, I think, than Florida does.
I always wonder this because other people do, and it comes up a lot, and I don't know. I always ask the guys on recruiting sites, especially this question, especially those that go to and follow all this. But I'm curious. Do you think this game has a really big impact in recruiting if Florida State can win it in the head-to-heads against Florida?
I think it would be big. I don't know that there's that many guys that they're going head-to-head with. There's a couple, and I don't know if it's going to swing those guys. But I would say this: it's if you're one of these recruits that's really still strongly considering Florida State, them winning this game and winning these last couple games and showing some positive momentum, I think it just would give them credence to what the coaches have been saying, that, man, we're going to turn this thing around. We're going to have it heading in the right direction. You could be the best salesman in the world, but if your season ends with, 4 or 5 straight losses or losses in 4 of the last 5 games, and you lose at home to your rival, you get swept by your in-state rivals, I mean, it just doesn't reinforce the message they're hearing. I think a lot of these kids want to believe what Willie Taggart and his staff are selling, and I think this would just kind of give more credence to that. And there are a couple kids that Florida State and Florida are both heavily involved with, and certainly it would help with those cases.
See you tomorrow, brother. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Jeff. See you, man.
All right, be well. Yeah, I mean, the reason I phrased that question the way that I did there with Ira was that I think that fans probably make more of an individual game, a single outcome of a football game, than recruits actually do. And you see that a lot. I mean, we've seen some teams with dynamic recruiters come into a situation where they have a really poor season and you'd think guys would be bailing, and they don't. The results didn't make that big a difference. And other times it works in reverse where it does. I just never know what to expect. I think it is really solely dependent on the methodology in which people recruit.
Yes, but what this does if you win the last 2 games of the season is something for official visits, which is it creates a positive atmosphere where the kid is coming, because they're going to be hosted by players that are on the current roster. And the more we win, especially if you win your last 2, you beat Florida, those players are going to be happier, especially with the coaching staff. They'll believe it more. It's a unique place to be. Jimbo would always say on National Signing Day, one of our most important assets in signing these players was the current roster we have.
Right.
Because, we're out of the picture at night. They're going to tell them the truth. You may not want to come here if you're at this position. Or, this coach is the truth. He really has your back. If you have something wrong in your life, you can go talk to him. All those things. But these are Coach Jimbo Fisher's products, mostly. Through 1 season of Willie Taggart football and Willie Taggart's program, they'll tell you the truth if they think it's winning, if they think it's working, if they think 3 years from now it's going to be worth the prospect's time. So you win these last 2 games, and they feel as good as this one did against Boston College, and I think it would if we beat Florida on Saturday. Yeah, you're changing the way that everything feels around the athletic center and the player dorms.
If you're wondering where it sits now, and we like to look at composite rankings, when you do that for recruiting, for the 2019 football team rankings, Alabama's number 1, no shock there. Jimbo Fisher's always been a really good recruiter. He's doing a good job at Texas A&M currently and getting kids there. The other thing is with A&M, there's a volume aspect to it. They've got almost, 25 commitments, so just sheer numbers. They only have 1 5-star. But
I'd love to see us push 30.
Yeah, at this point, right? Georgia and Kirby Smart, they've been great, and they continue to do a good job. They're ranked in the top 5 currently. Oregon and LSU, it's really interesting with Oregon. We'll see. They have 0 5-star commits so far at Oregon, but 14 4-stars, so that has elevated the class there. LSU and Clemson, no shock there. That's an annual thing, top 5 to top 10 usually. Texas and Herman doing a good job, although Texas, once again, no 5-star recruits, but Texas back on the map there along with Oklahoma. And then it's Michigan and Florida State. And the reason I think that's interesting is, by the way, Florida State is the highest-ranked team in the state in recruiting. The two teams in the state that they're competing with, most notably, are Miami and Florida. And as Lee Sterling noted when he came on recently on Friday, Miami is hemorrhaging recruits. And in fact, they have fallen to 23rd in the rankings. They have 0 5-stars, just 8 4-stars, a lot of 3 stars. It's not impressive what's going on right now down at Miami. And by the way, Miami's ahead of Florida. Florida's 24th in recruiting currently, 0 5-stars, same situation, 8 4-stars. So this group right now, even with the record they have and the season they've had, at least according to these rankings, and we'll see, there's a long, signing day and all that, Florida State has the edge right now. This would maybe further solidify that.
Well, if you can, sway a couple of kids who may be doubting and they're committed, but it's a soft commit to Florida State right now, that status. If you can sway those kids back to the solid world, maybe grab another blue chipper or two that's undecided, and then go grab a JUCO O-lineman or two. I think you've got yourself a fine class here. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the whole thing. I mean, we're going to want to breathe easier about the number of recruits you bring in on the offensive line. I mean, that's the whole thing. Oh, by the way, and I get a lot of these emails, so I should touch on it now. Game day was at UCF. They had a great performance. We thought they would. I thought they'd outclass Cincinnati. They did. That wasn't much of a game. It was an easy win. UCF is still UCF, folks. They're on an amazing winning streak, and they deserve credit for it, and they have had the best run in the state, and all that's true. 56th in recruiting behind the likes of SMU, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, barely ahead of East Carolina. UCF is still not that school. It's still not a destination for the nation's best players. It's just not. They're behind Pitt and Wake Forest, my friends. People aren't flocking to UCF. It's not there yet. They've had an amazing run, and again, they deserve credit. But you're still in a position where if you bring it on home and you are able to take a 10, 9, 8, 7 class somewhere in there in this state with the quality of athletes you're going to get to be right back where you rightfully belong, which is amongst the top 10, 15 teams in the country. Let's hope that happens. Jeff Cameron, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Headed to the new Gordos, 'cause Eddie hit a home run just like the old Gordos. Ooh.
Jeff, I'm sitting right here, man. Why do you always speak about me in the third person?
Loving the new Gordos.
You gotta quit singing, man.
Got the outside deck. When the weather shifts, I'm going to sit outside at the new Gordos.
Are we ever going to get there? Can you speed up, please?
Lots of TVs.
1460 Market Street.
Woo-hoo.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
The Florida State basketball team has the best record in the nation at home the last 2 years.
Three-point shot, it's good again!
The Tucker Center is a house of horrors for opponents. Don't miss the best ticket in town, the ACC Pack. Come see the nation's best basketball right here in Tallahassee for as low as $99. The Noles host Duke, Notre Dame, Miami, Louisville, and more inside the Tucker Center. College basketball is taking the capital city by storm. Don't get left out. Purchase your ACC Pack today. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
We're completing our descent and will arrive in TLH shortly.
Oh, I'm so happy to be home.
Once we land, you can take off again with savings from the City of Tallahassee.
What do you mean?
The City of Tallahassee offers rebates for up to $300 in savings when you purchase energy-efficient appliances.
Wow, that would be a huge help.
The city also offers free energy audits.
What's an energy audit?
It's when an energy auditor comes to your home at the time that's convenient for you, examines your structure, and checks your energy and water systems. Then, they recommend changes that could save you energy, water, and money. The city also offers free ceiling insulation grants for qualifying customers.
Man, the city sure offers a lot of ways to save money. Once we land, I would check out all of the products and services the city has to offer. This makes me proud to call Tallahassee home.
Thank you for flying with us today. Don't forget that you can take off with savings with the City of Tallahassee. From rebates for Energy Star appliances to insulation grants. You can save energy, water, and money. Visit talgov.com for more information.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the law office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Do your hair a favor by checking in online and arriving just in time for your Sport Clips MVP haircut experience while you surround yourself with sports on TV, a great cut, massaging shampoo, and a hot steam towel. Claim your spot today. SportClips.com/check-in.
O'Reilly. If it's time to replace your vehicle's headlights, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts See Better, Drive Safer sale for a twin pack of Sylvania Silver Star Ultra headlights and get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after mail-in rebate. See farther and more clearly with Silver Star headlights at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, reminding you that Andro 400 is very affordable. Yeah. Costs much less than other testosterone boosters and offers a 90-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked, satisfaction guarantee. Here's how you order: 888-510-9336. Or here's the much easier way. Go to andro400.com. Just make sure you use the promo code J6OFF. Little J6 off action for discount on your order there. Increases energy and stamina, muscle mass and strength, improves your mood, melts away pound. Andro pounds, it melts away a pound, just a singular pound. You'll get that sucker. Andro400.com. Use the promo code J6OFF. There you go. All right. Hey, listen, guys. Don't mistake enthusiasm for a victory as being satisfied with 5 and 6. I seem to have created an argument on the cesspool known as Twitter because I think the celebration Willie showed with his teammates, his team and the kids, was really cool. Others are like, well, you act like you won something. I'm like, God, dog it, man. Are you just such a bitter a-hole that you can't enjoy a victory for kids that are in the middle of a 3-game losing streak and have had a really tough go? What in the world?
Were you happy on Saturday night? I was.
I was immensely happy.
Yeah, so was I. That was nice for a change.
And nobody thinks that that's in lieu of trying to get better. That's in lieu of trying to win championships. Nobody thinks that. There's nothing wrong with showing a little bit of enthusiasm and appreciation for effort after a victory on the heels of a 3-game losing streak. It's a ranked team. You have to come from behind to do it in dramatic fashion. You're not equipped from a personnel standpoint at several positions to really compete. Damn it, you have every right to be happy about your successes, and you have to grill and be thorough about your setbacks as well. So,
no, that's the whole point of Willie being here is you want him to be able to recruit well, and you want him to be able to relate to players. I mean, Jimbo, he's a great recruiter, but he's standoffish, right? And so typically the next hire, when you let somebody go or they quit on you and then leave the program.
Opposite of what you just had.
Yeah, the opposite. This is who we are. We have a player's coach. We have somebody who relates to the kids. And you have somebody who is having fun. And the kids, that is recruiting gold. That video is recruiting gold.
I thought the same thing. The first thing I thought about had nothing to do with recruiting. The first thing I thought about was just how genuinely happy everybody was in that moment, and that in turn made me genuinely happy. I thought it was cool. I'm not so damn stuffy that I can't appreciate some people having fun after a game. The smiles on the players' faces said it all, and the hugs that he got said it all, which means they're bought in. That's what it revealed to me, was that they're still bought in. And you know what else I thought about Tom immediately? And I don't know how you couldn't. I remember being that guy that sat there and mocked Dabo Swinney for celebrating with his team, for celebrating with his players after they won big games. And I remember going, what a clown. Look at this guy. And then I remember Ernie Sims coming on during his show here saying that's the kind of coach players love. They want to play for a guy like that, a guy who has invested and cares about them and has fun and lets loose when it's appropriate. Guys will run through a wall for a coach like that. Guys will do everything they can to make a guy like that happy because they see in him a genuine appreciation and affection for them. Look, man, you got to be who you are. And I think that was the mistake I made when I pointed to Dabo and said, what are you doing? That I was trying to make Dabo more of a button-up presidential, well, I can't use that phrase anymore, but, more of a authority, like a man who understands, stoic, yeah. And I was wrong because that's not who he is. I mean, he is a guy that shows his emotion. He is a guy that will cry when he's upset about something or something affects him emotionally in that way. He's a guy that will smile when he's happy. He's a guy that will exult in celebration when they win big games. And he's a guy that will be furious when it's called upon. When he has to be stern, he can be. You got to be who you are. And if you're a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeves and or is very, in this case, really young. He's a young head coach. Mm-hmm. And you keep saying relatable, and that's what we're talking about. He is so young. He's early 40s. That it makes sense to me. He's not that far removed from playing. So, yeah, I mean, he relates to those guys. They're having fun. Doesn't mean they're not working hard and prepping for the next game. It's just I get so tired of that. I mean,
they just gave us a 60-minute effort like we haven't seen all season long. You don't think that they were preparing all week long? They had to have. You don't just show up and decide that we're going to look better than we have.
It also, again, is not in lieu of preparation or expectation. It's not like that celebration suggests they're just happy to win the game. No, the expectations have been set. He's already said it numerous times.
This season is disappointing, but damn it, if I'm not going to enjoy Saturday, can't you have both? If you want to talk about the big picture, but right now we're locked in. It's a rivalry week. You got positive momentum. You look like you're going in the right direction to give Florida a run for its money, and that almost probably gives Florida too much credit the way you phrase that. But you got yourself a real battle on your hands this weekend, and you're feeling good about yourself. If you want to go after this week is over, let's just say win or lose, and talk about how disappointing the season is and some of the things that went wrong, sure. But haven't we been doing that for the better part of 6 weeks, 2 months anyway?
No, we've already done
I'm going to enjoy Saturday night. I'm going to enjoy today as a Knoll.
No.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to be happy?
Absolutely. And if you win on Saturday, you clinch a 37th consecutive bowl game appearance. That's something to be happy about. They should celebrate and dance some more. I'll join them. Keep alive hopes, as you know, for a 42nd consecutive winning record. Oh, there's reason to celebrate there. I will. Oh, I'll have an adult beverage or two and smile and hug friends and fellow alumni and slap five and do all that.
You can be frustrated with the balance of the 12. But for this one out of the 12, you know what? Yeah, it's sad that I have to grasp at the straw of beating Boston College, but I'm not going to focus on the fact that I'm sad. I'm going to choose to have a good day because I want to.
There you go. I also think the moment's significant because of what I think it portends. And we'll, time will tell. Time will tell. We'll see. I'm not even talking about this Saturday.
Yeah, I know, but it could be undone this Saturday if you look listless and all that kind of crap. But you feel something more, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully it's not hope that we see this with, but reality.
Well, I think the hard part is that, again, no matter the result there Saturday, dramatic as it was and cool as it was to see the celebration, the truth of the matter is it doesn't undo situations in which you're incredibly weak and at a disadvantage. Your offensive line's not magically getting better in this game against Florida, and your linebackers are still suspect despite the great performance from Dontavius Jackson.
For example, and I get that these are completely different games and pedestals because everybody likes to break something down before you can just enjoy an analogy. All right, the championship game, the 2-minute drive, the 2-minute offense, Jimbo's program won in that moment because he lives for situations. All that guy thinks about is situations this, situations that. And Herbstreit said it on the broadcast. Thursday afternoons, good on good. You don't see anything more fired up than a practice in Tallahassee, Florida. And so Jameis didn't have to worry about emotions there. He'd done it so many times.
Right,
that
practiced it so many times, yep.
The program won in that moment for Jimbo. That's what put us over the top against Auburn. I really think Willie walks away in a smaller way from this game saying the program won today because these kids didn't quit. They fought through adversity, and all I've been preaching all offseason long is you got to fight through
and
these
you got to block
moments.
out all the other stuff, and we got to get there. We will get there. Something will happen. Yeah.
The message fell on deaf ears when you're talking about the Clemson game and the quitting and the lack of effort against NC State. It looks like we got our will taken out of us a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. But that doesn't mean that they didn't roar back and give you a lot in this particular game. And I think Willie has something to be proud about there because that's what he's trying to do is instill confidence.
I think if there's a negative in all of this, it's that you blew the Miami game and it keeps coming back up. With that win, you just got, obviously, we would be bowl eligible right now if you don't blow a 27-7 lead. We would be in a position to sweep our rivals.
I'm choosing to be happy.
No, I'm just saying, if you want to be down about something, it's it's that you somehow threw away that Miami game because, man, if you hadn't, you're already bowl eligible. And, again, it would be a hell of a thing. Would be, and I'm not going to dwell on it, to be in a position to sweep your rivals again.
This bowl of Cheerios is not going to taste like it came from Raleigh-Durham Stadium. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's just a little soggy. It's just a little soggy.
Soggy's different than flavored like
That's right.
Raleigh-Durham.
No, I'm just saying just a little soggy. It's not perfect. It's all right. I'm still going to eat it, but it's just a little soggy. You got to get Cheerios quick.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Golden Grams. Got to get Golden Grams quick. You can't let them soak for too long.
Captain Crunch.
Other cereals you can let soak. You're damn right. You can't let Captain Crunch soak.
I'm okay with the Golden Grams if they soak a little bit.
A little bit, but not crazy. I don't want them all flopping about. I need a little crunch to them. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Hey, sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on and on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Aaron's 7 days of Black Friday are here. Our biggest product sale of the year brings you 7 amazing days of deals to smile 7 times bigger. Save big on a huge 86-inch Philips TV, a Samsung washer and dryer, or an Xbox. Want more? Just $7 gets you started leasing to own with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. Aaron's 7 days of Black Friday. 7 days of our best product deals plus $7 gets you started now through Monday. Transaction advertises a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina. And presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
Shop Kohl's.com for Black Friday deals Monday through Friday. Plus, get more bang for your buck with $15 Kohl's Cash for every $50 spent. Get $17.99 toys, a diamond pendant necklace, $99.99, $8.99 throws or decorative pillows, $19.99 comforters and sheets, and $20 and under women's sweaters. Shop Kohl's.com for Black Friday deals Monday through Friday. And stores open Thursday at 5 p.m. Kohl's. Select styles. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-519-TERM. 866-519-TERM. 866-519-TERM.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. What a way to cap off Week 11. 9-1 Rams versus the 9-1 Chiefs on Monday Night Football. The team's near the top of the league when it comes to overall offense, points scored, and passing yards by quarterbacks Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes. Getting to Mahomes isn't the only aspect of KC's offense LA's defense needs to be concerned with, explains ESPN's Ryan Clark.
If I'm the Rams, can I stop the run? Last week, you give up over 250 yards rushing to the Seattle Seahawks, and now you're playing Kareem Hunt, the defending rushing yards leader. And if they get the ball going that way, how do you stop them? How do you figure out ways to get to Patrick Mahomes? How do you stop the passing game if Kareem Hunt is dashing and slashing you all game long?
Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. From ESPN's Adam Schefter, Lions running back Kerryon Johnson has a sprained knee, does not need surgery, will be considered week to week. No update yet from Detroit on Johnson's status for the Thanksgiving Day game versus the Bears. Redskins expected to sign free agent quarterback Mark Sanchez to back up Colt McCoy, reports ESPN's Field Yates. According to Titans coach Mike Vrabel, quarterback Marcus Mariota knocked out of the loss to the Colts with a stinger. A second opinion is possible for Mariota, but the team is hoping he feels good enough to play against the Texans next Monday night. NBA, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting the struggling 5-11 Wizards have started to deliver the impression to teams that every player on their roster, including John Wall and Bradley Beal, is available to discuss in trade scenarios. Washington's preference remains to reshape the franchise around the two All-Stars, but poor play among key teammates is limiting their trade value and paralyzing the Wizards' efforts to make meaningful changes to a roster that no longer appears functional together.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show on a Monday after a victory. You're damn right it is. And now it's time to turn our attention briefly here to the Vision Check, because I want to talk about some basketball. Tom, if you'd like to cue up the Vision Check, I'm ready for you to do so.
Open your eyes.
My glasses! I can't see without my glasses!
My glasses! I can't be seen without my glasses!
That is absolutely horrendous!
I don't believe this call is accurate.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
Man, I can see!
Black vision. It's time for the Vision Check.
As brought to you by the Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. Offices, Miami, Tallahassee. Florida State basketball tonight. Finally, it's been forever and a day, but it's back upon us yet again. And the Noles, currently undefeated. Just kind of fun to say. More importantly, ranked number 14 in all the land, going against Tom's favorite team, Canisius.
Emperor Canisius, Caesar of Rome.
1-1 rolls into town. 7 o'clock at the TLC Double C, the ACC Network Extra webcast, if you're wondering, or on Watch ESPN. It's not available on TV, per se, like your standard just watching the game, flippity-doo. Got to watch ESPN or the ACC Network Extra.
Hopefully it's more reliable than the stream of the Florida Classic this weekend, which you could not find until, the late second quarter?
What was going on with that?
It just didn't work. You could get any other game in the country, no matter what conference it is, MEAC, ACC, whatever. And this game was not working, so you had to get the updates through Twitter. Then I did see the end, and that was unfortunate. You know what was really frustrating about that very quickly was the defensive end who ends up pressuring Stanley to roll right and throw the pick six. He's offsides by a yard, lined up offsides for 2 plays in a row. The second one was more egregious than the first.
We're going to need to call that, man.
And the line judge is looking right at him, and he's the one who speed rushes around the edge and forces him to flush right. So if it doesn't have an impact on the play, you just kind of get angry. But if it changes everything when you're trying to tie the football game, damn it, man.
Got me thinking, Crabtree.
Who was talking about you?
You just had that moment just now. It was great. You were mad. But if it changes, it's like, Crabtree.
It was really frustrating.
I agree.
I was all in on that game,
That's a damn toughie.
F&A.
Third ever meeting tonight against Canisius. Tom just likes that I say that. I know it's not that. We have split the 2 previous games. They were played in consecutive seasons. FSU won the first matchup, 91-74, at the Tully Gym back in 1974. Believe it or not, Tom, I was not at that game.
Really?
Did not see it. Don't remember it at all. No.
Oh, man.
We lost the return game at Buffalo, New York in January of 1975. Was not at that game, although I could have been. At the time, I think we were just moving back from Holland, and I was about to live in upstate New York. So there you go.
Okay.
Family should have randomly said, let's go to the FSU Canisius game.
I have a feeling it's going to matter to us at some point in the future.
81-75. The history with MAAC teams, MAC teams over the past decade has been limited to just Iona, Tom's old squad. 64-49, 2009 in the Old Spice Classic. Whoop that ass. That's what we did. The former name of this annual exempt tournament, if you recall, in Wake Buena Vista. 99-78 route in the TLC-CC in November of 2016. And Manhattan was another time.
Mm-hmm. The Jaspers. They got Florida once in the NCAA tournament.
Yay, Jaspers.
That was probably like 2004, I think.
By the way, they're returning 3 starters and 10 lettermen off of last year's 21-12 squad. Finished 15-3 in the MAAC. Tied Ryder for the top seed in the conference. They were upset in the quarterfinals by Quinnipiac. Big loss there to Quinnipiac, if you recall that. Look, at the end of the day, you do. What are you doing? You looking at that?
It was March 18th, 2004. Manhattan 75, Florida 60 in the NCAA tournament. Very embarrassing for the Gators.
Terribly. It's like their current losing streaks against the great Florida State clubs.
Double digits between the two, right?
Yeah. So what's interesting is that they've gone smaller as this group, and they're quick. And so what to expect tonight? Can we stay in front of them, basically? Mm-hmm. That's what I want to get at. Can you stay in front of them? If you can, your length should contest an awful lot of shots, make it very, very difficult for Canisius to stick with that lineup. And that's what I'll be looking for tonight to see how we look. I have a sense we're going to be rusty. It's been a week.
Well, and also you would think, too, the rotation would be bigger for this game, considering how many basketball games we have coming up in the next week to 8 days.
True.
Yeah, so if you can get up, double digits here in the first half, Leonard was a little bit more reluctant against Tulane to expand to an 8 or 9 man rotation. I don't think that's the case in this game. I think you play as many guys as you can for as many minutes as you can because you've got that tournament-type schedule coming up.
Yeah, and I would imagine you're well rested, but you're right. 4 and 7 days is tough. So let's see if we get the extra time in for some of the younger guys.
Well, and it's Thursday night, Friday, Sunday. So I don't know what time you tip off on Friday. It may depend, obviously, if you win or lose that game. But you might be playing 2 games within 18, 20 hours of each other. So, yeah, absolutely. Rest as many as you can tonight on the way to a win.
And that was, and I like the assumption of the win because I agree with you, that was the Vision Check as brought to you by our friends at Jose Fernandez. The law offices of Jose Fernandez is what I should say. The law office of Jose Fernandez, offices Miami, Tallahassee. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9, ESPN Radio. Hey, this is Jeff Cameron, and listen, it's tough to do things if you're not getting quality sleep. You know that. I wasn't getting great sleep in the past for a lot of different reasons, but I never thought about MyPillow. And then MyPillow reached out and said, you should try a MyPillow. And now I get that deep, refreshed next morning, I feel great kind of sleep that I deserve. And you do too. I couldn't do the things I wanted to do unless I got restorative sleep, and now I get it because of MyPillow. And now you're getting back into the swing of things, I'm sure. Since fall is here, you need rest more than ever. MyPillow has brought back their best offer ever. Buy one MyPillow, get one absolutely free. Just go to MyPillow.com. Make sure you use my promo code. That's 979ESPN. If you want quality sleep that has you feeling like a new person the next morning, take advantage of this offer now. Get one for you and one for your wife, husband, neighbor, the mailman. That's weird. Whomever. MyPillow is 100% machine washable and dryable. It comes with a 10-year warranty, and this is the new thing here, guys. With your purchase, your money-back guarantee is extended through March the 1st. It used to be 60 days, but now you got all the way to March. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the buy one, get one free special, and use my code 979ESPN. You'll get one free pillow when you buy one at a regular price. Take advantage of their best offer ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the buy one, get one free special. Enter the promo code 979ESPN or call 800-944-6596.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and the 2019s are arriving every day, including the all-new 2019 Altima. Pick 6 Savings has almost cleared out the 2018 Altimas, but we still have a good selection of 2018 Rogues, Pathfinders, and Muranos that are all $6,000 off. All 2018 Sentras are $4,000 off. And we have over 40 to choose from. 2018 Versa S 5-speeds are $11,995, and 2018 Versa S Plus automatics are $13,995. And we've extended the $10,000 off all 2018 Titan and Titan XD regular cabs, extended cabs, crew cabs, gas or Cummins diesel. All 2018 Titans are $10,000 off, and we will give you $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade. That's $10,000 off all Titans and $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade, or a total of $12,000 in discounts on every Titan we sell. But you better hurry. The 2018s are going fast. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Prices include dealer preparation charge.
The Donald L. Tucker Civic Center is awarding one lucky fan with tickets for an entire year with its Tickets to the Tuck giveaway, presented by POSS Medical Supplies. Grand prize is admission for 2 for every event at the Tuck in 2019. Go to TuckerCivicCenter.com to enter. No purchase necessary. Good luck from the Tuck. See official rules for details.
Son of a biscuit.
What was that?
Something broke my windshield. Look at it. Now I've got to call my insurance.
No. Just contact Seminole Auto Glass. They'll take care of everything for you.
This is Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. With Florida Full Coverage Insurance, windshield replacement is free, and it's your choice. So choose the local company you know and trust. Seminole Auto Glass, 850-539-4527 or at SeminoleAutoGlass.com. Wow, they're coming to my work tomorrow. That was easy, thanks to Seminole Glass.
Great. Now can we go get some biscuits? I'm hungry.
Shop Kohl's.com for Black Friday deals Monday through Friday. Plus, get more bang for your buck with $15 Kohl's Cash for every $50 spent. Get $17.99 toys, a diamond pendant necklace, $99.99, $8.99 throws or decorative pillows, $19.99 comforters and sheets, and $20 and under women's sweaters. Shop Kohl's.com for Black Friday deals Monday through Friday. And stores open Thursday at 5 p.m. Kohl's. Select styles. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio on a glorious Monday. Hey, you know who's strong? Who's really strong? Just as an aside, I was watching a replay during the break again, and I saw it when it actually happened. But I should note that OBJ is strong.
Mm-hmm.
That dude's got a little something to him. His hands are really strong.
How that football does not move and is catch to the back right of the end zone.
Unbelievable. That's the play I'm talking about. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's frozen as though it was like one of those Russian eggs. That's what it looked like, you know, in like one of those tripod type holders that they have. It just did not move 1 millimeter. You could have argued. I mean, there was so much. Most other players, right? Wouldn't that be incomplete because they're bobbling it?
There's no
through
chance.
The process?
No chance. I was blown away by it.
Vice grips.
Another thing to note here, it's not like this hasn't been an obvious observation from everybody who's watched him play, but I've now seen him play, I think, a total of 4 times for any chunk of time. I saw him play the entire game this time around. It's hard to justify, if you're the Giants, the pick of Saquon Barkley because you have Eli Manning and you desperately have to find a quarterback of the future. So I understand all the Giants fans, and I was one of those guys that thought, you don't draft a running back there, but he's different. He's just different. There's vision, there's strength, there's speed. There's a lot to suggest he's going to be one of those dudes that 10, 12 years from now we're like, still out here kicking ass.
Well, it's the professional version of what Dalvin Cook did here at Florida State, which is if somebody's in the backfield and they're unabated,
you miss.
It doesn't matter. You miss, and it's a gain of 4. And you're like, well, shoot. It's 2nd and 6. It should be 2nd and 12.
He's so strong, he is going to get a couple yards no matter where you hit him. His balance is exceptional. All of that hopping through things time and again, just hopping through things and bouncing off people, it's remarkable.
It is remarkable, and not to change the subject completely, but how about the balance from Cam Akers on the long run when he is essentially, his helmet is scraping the turf in front of his feet, and he stays up.
Very first time that he has shown signs this year of being the Cam Akers we got so excited about at season's end last year. The guy that had more patience, better vision, and brute strength to carry the day. It was all on display Saturday.
Yeah, I thought the third part of that, the brute strength, I think it was almost the first or second quarter, somewhere in between there, where he said, the hell with it. Because there were times he was bottled up at the line. It's like a gain of 6. He's like, screw you. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to get hit. I know I'm going to get hit. So you know what? I'm going to take you for a ride. And what did that do? It paid dividends later in the game because, as you've talked about all day long, we're the tougher team. Cam had a lot to do with that on the offensive side of the ball.
You can do that, but think about defenses attacking. I say that a lot because usually that phrase is used for offenses, attacking a defense. And I say all the time that defenses can attack. But in the same way that defenses are always thought to lay the lumber, that defenses are always the ones that bring it. No, you can do that offensively too. And you usually can do it by sending a message in the run game. But you better have a back that can. You better have a back who decides to be a guy that's going to endure punishment and deliver at the end of runs. And I thought Cam was that guy on Saturday. So you're right. And it's not a surprise he had his best day.
Defenses can attack too, and turnovers is part of the attacking mentality. Since I didn't ask you yet.
I got it up close and personal. I tweeted out a picture. Could you see it?
I did not see your Twitter for that.
I tweeted out a picture of the. Yeah, I did.
What a sin!
I did. I tweeted out a picture of, and I don't usually tweet in games, but it was right in front of me. I couldn't help it. I got the turnover backpack and I took a photo of it. They were happy to throw that.
I know the fans
on.
went nuts, but how did the kids? I mean, did they just love the hell out of that thing?
They love the turnover backpack. They put that sucker on with pride. I agree with Ira on this. You just gotta embrace it. Embrace the hate. Throw that backpack on, baby.
You probably have to stick with it another year, too.
I think you do, too, because you don't want to admit to a mistake, I guess. Some people still find it stupid. No, put it on.
Unless there's like
Take some tomahawks out of that pack.
There it is. That's how you transition from one to the next.
That's right.
You take
put
something
it on,
out of the bag, and then you leave the bag behind.
I like it. Yeah, you just take the tomahawk out of the bag, wave it around furiously.
Who was it who suggested the footballs go in the body bag, and then you put it in the backpack?
Oh,
was that a listener? Or was that me deviating from a listener?
No,
Somebody said something.
A listener
along those
said
lines.
you make it a body bag and you put the football in there with a chalk outline. Yeah, the whole deal. Yeah, that was awesome.
That's a good idea.
I like that. Well, I think the more over the top crazy you get, the better off you are. It's almost like, so that craze exists in college football because Miami started it with turnover chain, but in the NFL, the big craze now is after a score or even an interception, you just run over and pose for a giant group picture. It really is quite ridiculous. I mean, whatever. I'm not being a curmudgeon. It's just kind of dumb.
People don't celebrate touchdowns that much.
No. I mean, they celebrate a turnover like it is.
If it's a pick six, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Take that photo.
Take that photo. Do whatever you got to do. Row the boat. Do whatever you're going to do.
It's like 1st and 10 at our own 18, because it was third and 20, and you get a pick. It's like, all right, well, that's great. I'm glad you're running all the way down like referees used to do to the one booth that was in the stadium, sold by Roger Goodell's brother-in-law.
I love that that's been the conspiracy theory. Yeah, I agree with you. I would also note that I can't, this has nothing to do with celebrations. It's just, I can't, Deshaun Jackson's got to go to hell. We got to get him out of here. I'm done with him.
Not to Arizona or Detroit.
Hell. No effort ass. That guy there is just awful. It's just he doesn't even care. He doesn't even care.
So does the ACC logo appear on the footballs, or is it just like Nike that's on the footballs? Do the leagues have their own little patch? Because I think a great idea would be if the ACC logo is somewhere on there, that you put the football down, the players hold it, and then you use the spear after a turnover. And spear through
right
the logo
through the ACC logo for the years of frustration.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure we would get fined as a university for destroying property of the conference, but I think it's worth it.
I would give so much just to have what Willie said. Officials have to come in and answer questions about what was going on there on Saturday. My man, you're picking up a holding penalty? Your boy was looking right at it. Threw the flag rightfully. We're going to take that back, are we? Okay. I've seen it lots of other ways, just not that way. And Willie got his money's worth.
Ah, you had a front row seat to that, too.
Got his money's worth.
Were they all? Could we play that if you had audio of it? No?
No, there were some things. There were some things there. And especially towards the end, like they were trying to walk away from him. I don't know if the camera caught this. They were trying to walk away from him. He was not going to let them. And he was going to make sure there were a few other choice words expressed in that moment. There was some elbow, like kind of gyration, pointing and screaming. Oh, it was good.
We have a dramatic interpretation of that moment, if you'd like.
Sure.
Terry, then you talk to me about that. Okay.
You gotta give us a shot.
You know what?
You gotta give us
Terry,
a shot.
Okay, listen to me and let me hear what I'm saying, okay? You get your shot. You had your shot right there in the situation.
Well, why
you
not?
know the situation,
I know
Terry.
it. Why don't we get a shot, Tommy?
Because that makes it worse. Terry, that makes it worse.
I know it. But MLB did nothing to that guy. Nothing.
Okay, that I can't. Terry, I can't control that. You know as well as I do. You know where I stand on the whole situation. But
you're better than that, Tommy. You know that.
Terry, listen, I'm telling you, our ass is in the jackpot now. Okay? Okay, I'm just telling you. You know what? That's you got it. Bag it up. MLB did nothing to that guy. I understand that, Terry. But our ass is in the jackpot now. You know.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. Good Monday, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend, and I do appreciate you joining us here on the Jeff Cameron Show. If you missed portions of said program, all 3 hours to be posted upon the conclusion of the show today. We put it on the app, the WTSM app, which is free for mobile devices. We put it on the website, ESPNTallahassee.com. And, of course, we put it on iTunes where you can subscribe to it. Please do. Make sure you leave us the great reviews. It makes it easier for others to find the program. Also on Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. And I should note, if you're watching on YouTube, hello, YouTubers. I hope you're well. ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. Periscoping, it's at 979 ESPN Radio on Twitter. That's how you can Periscope. And you can always email us, jcs@979espnradio.com. Speaking of which, we got emails. We have emails. People want to know some things. And I cracked up laughing. I thought that there were plenty of people asking yet again, Tom, about special teams. Now, I guess that's reaching a breaking point now, because you have a win like this and the manner that it happens. And like 3 of the 15 emails were just about special teams. I thought people were about done, but we've been done with that for some time now. It's tough. It's tough, but I don't want to lead with that. I don't want to lead with that.
Okay, other than when it's 1st and 10 from the 40 after you get a big score, of course it is.
Well, right, and I cracked. That kid can really play. Their returner can play.
Yeah. But you could just see it. Sometimes, returners, they see something that nobody else can.
Right.
And so you're shocked. Greg Reed was so good at that as a punt returner especially. But then there are times it looks like it's blocked up from the word go. And that's what that looked like to me. I was like, oh, crap. Can we get a flag here?
Well, don't worry. It would have been picked up.
Yeah.
That was something. Again, man, the most objective amongst you, just as football fans, you don't have to hate Florida State, don't have to love Florida State, just have to like football. What are we doing here? I've never seen a hold. I've seen flags are picked up all the time. If a guy is at such an angle that he thinks a targeting occurred and another official has a better angle, he can come over and go no.
See the face mask call on Helton on his kick return.
Right.
Which is the only angle that when you go back and watch it on replay, the only angle they give you is close copy, tight copy, which is over the far end zone.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like he got him in the face mask.
No.
But, it's probably 50-50, but it's one of those things where an official clearly has a look at it.
Yeah.
The holding call.
No, so that's what I'm saying. You never see a hold picked up.
God.
You never see a hold picked. Tom, seriously, I thought about this. I almost texted you during the game, but it was an intense moment, so I didn't want to do it.
I texted you. Maybe you didn't get it because of the service.
Probably. So then when I saw that was ridiculous, I would have been like, I don't know what he's talking about. But all I can tell you is this. I've never seen a hold where a guy's looking at a hold. He's looking at it. He's staring right at it. And then he does the right thing after recognizing holding. Here's the flag to signify the upcoming holding call. Wait a minute, Bobby. We need to talk. Okay? What is it, Ted? I think you should pick that up. But he was clearly holding him. Listen, I'm just saying. I think you should pick that up. It's Florida State.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. How do you... Ooh.
Well, okay.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
It's a human moment here, and perhaps this reveals weakness, so I'm going to say that in front of it. Sometimes there are people who surprise you. Like, for example, a guy who comes off as a surfer bro, but he's a physicist or something.
Yeah, really smart guy.
This guy's smart, but if you talk to him in the street, you're like, this guy is dumber than a bag of rocks.
We both know that guy.
Right, exactly. Sometimes people surprise you and they sound like they're really put together, and then
they reveal that
there's nothing of substance here.
This person doesn't know what they're talking about.
The head official is as he looks and sounds. Simple man.
Mm-hmm.
And we get burned by that simple man all the time.
Woo.
Now, the spots are not his job, but sweet Jesus, staff-wide, crew-wide, they are awful.
Got a little lucky on one of our spots late,
We
though.
got one back, and they're awful both ways,
Yeah,
but it was probably like 5 for BC, 1 for us.
Don't disagree. Well, anyhow, not to get hung up on that. Florida State wins the game. They have to reach down deep to do it. There's a whole lot of chutzpah there, a whole lot of what for, and most importantly, they met the physical challenge of stopping an offense that's hell-bent on running the ball down your throat. It is their identity. It's what they do. They've been very good in short yardage situations this year. They pound the rock, and if you decide that you're not up to the task on this given day, they're going to beat you. And so that was the first thing we had to see, and we saw it. We absolutely saw it. And they kept fighting. They stuck with the run game themselves. Florida State was determined. You'll hear in an upcoming interview mere moments from now, the replay of my interview with Willie Taggart, the Mountain Dew coach's interview. They took a little offense to the fact that this guy right here and so many others in talking about and writing about this game mentioned BC and how physical a program they are, how physical a team they are, how that's their identity. And Willie and his staff set about the task of trying to instill in players this week that their manhood was being questioned. There's no way around it. That's what they did. They said, look, all I'm hearing is BC is physical. Will Florida State want any part of that? They're calling out your manhood. And we answered the call there. And that's a big damn deal because when you're 4-6 and you're on the wrong end of 3 straight ass kickings, you got to summon something up. It can be difficult.
My favorite moment in this game was the Dontavius Jackson moment in which I'm initially mad, but then I think, whew, my God, all right, well, if you're going to do it like that. He loses his helmet, and so he has to come off for a play, and he is standing on the field still jawing about it.
Yeah.
Like, get off the damn field, Dontavius.
Dude, yeah, there's nothing. That's the rule.
But the intensity with which he is jawing and yelling both at his teammates and at Boston College, the fire in his eyes, hallelujah.
I'm glad you said this, and I've mentioned it 50 times today on the show about how I was, sitting on the 50, first row. He was my favorite player to watch the whole game. I mean, 14 tackles, sack, he was everywhere, 6, so he was in on every play, but when he'd come to the sideline, he'd take his helmet off, and he had the look of a possessed individual, and it was infectious. Players were feeding off that. He was not having it on this Saturday. Good for him.
At linebacker.
I know.
Wait a minute.
I know.
At linebacker. Not since Telvin Smith have you seen one performance on a given day like that. Terrence was not as fiery as Telvin.
No.
And we've had a couple of guys who maybe were going to be blue chippers, but we ran them off, or maybe they let themselves get kicked off the team.
Yeah, they had some mistakes. Yeah.
For one day. I'm not saying he is either of those dudes or he's going to be drafted in the first 2 or 3 rounds, but damn it, for one day, he was the heart and soul of a defense that reminded me, not of 13, that's reserved for a different company.
Yeah.
2010. Remember that defense?
Oh, yeah.
They were a little bit limited in certain areas, but you got everything that
they had emotionally, physically. Yeah, I absolutely do. Well, and for many reasons, and again, I allude to it because we're going to play it here in a second, you could tell Willie was not only proud, but really excited for the kids because I think a lot of them summoned something they hadn't shown, in recent memory and found a little bit of the pride and toughness that had been lacking. And that included in that is a mental toughness that had been lacking.
Well, his postgame he was like us in a sense. He's like, I haven't seen that all year.
Yeah.
Another week, coach, but I'm glad we saw it this time, and I'm glad, like you've been, pushing all last week, that it gives us an opportunity to continue that momentum, to play with our hair on fire again for the second week in a row for a chance to go to a bowl against a hated rival. Outstanding.
On tomorrow's show, I'll reveal the status of this game. A lot of people wanted me to do it today. Tomorrow on the show, I'll reveal the status of this game. We'll talk a little bit about it. I've got some thinking to do on this one, Tom. It is a nooner, but
that'd be a hell of a thing. So maybe like if there was an issuance of something, it would be applied to Friday night.
But well, no, we'll just see. I've got some thoughts on it, and I'm putting that together. And tomorrow will be the big reveal for the status of.
All right. Winter is back.
game. But first, I think it's interesting. You said that obviously there was the losing streak, but also your quarterback had a tough first half, but then he showed resiliency in the second half. Cam Akers is a kid that has had a tough year with the expectations being as high as they were. You know, you could see that frustration, but then he ran hard and smart and patient. The line played better in the second half. So you got a lot of the things that you've been preaching, and then you got the just reward as well.
Absolutely, and it was good so our guys can see the hard work that. And more importantly, understand that if they go do the things that we say that it takes to win, those things can happen for us. But like you said, the resilience that they had and just how they kept fighting and staying together and staying positive throughout the game. And it was neat for me personally on the sideline and just watching our guys because of all the work that they put in throughout the year each week and finally putting it together on Saturdays.
Yeah, and it was obvious. Boston College decided in this game, as they often do, that they're going to try to beat you physically. They're going to run the ball. I mean, they were resilient in their own way, but you guys rose to that challenge in this sense. I mean, 37 carries, 117 is not very efficient for Dillon. So this is a group up front, and with that second group, obviously we talk about the day that Jackson had at linebacker, but a lot of guys had to be willing, and you know, Coach, I mean, you got to willing to put your head in there against a kid that big and to run fit and to sometimes wear it so somebody else gets the glory. That was all on display here.
It was. I mean, I think what was really impressive is how many guys you saw getting to the ball and tackling him. You know, they were all running to the ball, 5 or 6 guys getting after him. And, again, that was a challenge for our guys throughout the week. And you think about the games before where we haven't really performed well, especially in our rush defense. And I know Coach Barnett simplified some things and just allowed our guys to go, and it paid off for us.
For those wondering at home, it was only 4.9 yards per play for Boston College. On the offensive end, Coach, 73 plays, 484 yards, 6.6 yards per play, and a lot of big chunk plays, too. You stuck with the run, you stuck there, but you had the big chunk plays come out of it as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of our offense and what we expect out of our offense. And it was good to see against a good football team that our guys were able to go out and execute in the run game the way that we did. And I think that helped us, and we're consistent and staying committed to the run game throughout the game, and it really helped us stay in that game into the end of the game and give us a chance to, to take the lead there late in the game.
A couple of things here, Coach, I just want to ask you about. It's interesting. It looks like you guys have been more effective in running tempo the last couple of weeks. It seems like we're getting more plays in now. What do you attribute that to? Is that a comfort within the offense? Is that delegation? What is it exactly?
Well, it's just getting back. I know going back last week, I told our football team we've gotten so far away from who we say we're going to be, offense or defense, special teams. And, defensively, Coach Barnett from day one, he always talked about playing fast, physical, and aggressive. We needed to do that. We challenged our guys. Let's get back to doing and being who we say we're going to be. And our defense did that on Saturday. And same thing with our offense. We said we're going to be lethal simplicity from day one, and we got away from that, with the tempo and explosive plays. And I challenged our guys, our coaches and players last week. Let's get back to who we say we're going to be, and let our guys play. And it paid off for us because I think we simplified some things on both sides of the ball and committed to what we said we're going to do. We wanted to be up-tempo and go faster, and we did that.
Here it is, Coach, your first Florida State-Florida game as head coach at Florida State University. As a kid who grew up in this state, you watch this game just like you did the FSU-Miami game. You know what this rivalry means, and now an opportunity to keep the bowl streak alive to go along with it. I guess talk about your mindset as you get set to prepare for a huge game on Saturday.
Well, we've got a big game. It's a very important game. Like you said, it's a rival game, and you really don't have to do anything to motivate individuals around here for this game. Guys will be ready to play, coaches will be ready to coach, trainers will be ready to tape ankles and be ready to go. Again, you can throw the records out and the yardage out. You can throw all those things out because on Saturday, both teams are going to come and try to tear each other's head off, and it'll be a fun, competitive football game.
I did a thing at the beginning of the year, Coach, in camp where you were blowing the whistle after a touchdown play, almost a celebration of it. And then on Saturday, the video of you guys dancing, there was that whistle again. Is that a special whistle, or is that just your thing?
No, it's just my whistle. I had it. It was around my neck, and blew it. One of those moments you just get caught up in the moment with the guys. It was fun to see the excitement by those guys and how excited they were. And he's standing there. He's like, you might as well join in with him. It's pretty cool.
Hopefully you're blowing the hell out of that whistle again on Saturday, Coach. I'll talk to you again soon. Be well, sir.
Hey, thank you very much, and go Noles.
All right, take care. That's Willie Taggart, head football coach at Florida State, as he gets set for now Florida State, Florida. And, we talked all of last week. If you get this win against Boston College, it's more than just a rivalry game. There's something at stake here. There's something tangible that can result in a win here, which is the bowl streak stays alive, and how it would change mentalities, how it would change your view of what this season has been, which has been difficult without question. But a win here, and you've gone back to a bowl, and you've done something that seemed rather improbable at varying points this year. You think back to that Syracuse game and how lopsided that was. You think when they were down big in the second half against Louisville, they rallied to get that win. Then you blow the lead against Miami. At varying points, there were lots of times, I guess you could say, where you thought, well, that's going to be it. That's a wrap. And certainly in the midst of a 3-game losing streak where you're giving up a ton of points and teams are doing whatever they want to do against you, you're starting to think, I don't know if they're going to rise to the occasion. But they're one win away against their arch rival on noon on Saturday from saying, nope, we did it. We kept it alive. We've got something to build on. And it's needless to say, I think, at this point, that all of those extra practices you would get by becoming bowl eligible would be absolutely huge. Because if you think about all the young guys that made plays in this game, whether it's the Tamorrion Terry catch at the end there, obviously he's a young player doing special things. You think about Cam Akers, you think about Helton, you think about so many guys that they've used in ways that Trayshawn Harrison, we saw him again this weekend. So many guys are going to be a big part of what you're building on here, could really benefit from those practices. And needless to say, obviously, a win over your rival is a win over your rival. That was the Mountain Dew coach's interview. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio continues. Thanks to Willie Taggart with the Mountain Dew coach's interview, of course. And it's a fun conversation. He's in a good mood, as you would expect. Also note that it's interesting. I would tell you that one of the aspects of this game, and I think it came across in our conversation, but if it didn't, I should reiterate here. The week leading up to this game, I spoke a lot about, A, I thought they could win, but B, it was all going to come down to whether or not they wanted to play physical, whether or not they cared to invest in a really rugged form of football. There has to be a whole lot of want to bow your neck, stick your head in there against a guy that's still in size and a mentality that Boston College has and an offensive line that they have. And Florida State did in every way commit to being the more physical team. It's the first time this year that I thought Florida State was the far more physical team against a team whose trademark is that. Those numbers aren't just impressive, but they reveal, again, an investment that that maybe was in question. And that's everything from Dontavius Jackson with the 14 tackles, who was sensational in this game. 6 solos. He had a sack. He was good. Like, he was really good, and he cared. So did all of his fellow defensive players. I sat, oddly, for this game in a place I don't normally sit. I sat front row 1, 50-yard line, directly behind Florida State's bench. And it afforded me an opportunity to watch every interaction, obviously, between players and coaches and segment groups, and I could see DeAndre Francois interacting with James Blackman and all these things, and I was taking notes, obviously. But one thing that was evident early on was that they had decided to answer the call of Harlan Barnett that week. They had decided they would indeed be a physical team. They would run fit. They would stick their head in there. They would do all the things it took to win that battle. You don't win that battle, you can't win that game. I know the heroics is the throw at the end and all that. If you don't win the physical battle and compete to shut down Boston College's run game, you've got no chance to win the game, and they did that. So that's something that, at this late stage in the year where guys are beat up and bruised, and a lot of guys came off the field in this game, including Marvin Wilson. I mean, there are a lot of guys beat up in this game, and yet they got back out there.
Yeah, they did. And what says it all about how physical Florida State played? Boston College needed a yard, and they decided not to go for the yard.
Adagio's on the wrong end of this call yet again.
He is, but he doesn't do that if he believes that they are the more physical team. That says it all right there.
It's crazy.
They try and trick their way rather than run their way for a yard.
Yeah, and it's a bad decision. I understand that Florida State had answered the call, and they had held Boston College back, especially A.J. Dillon, because, you can give a ball to a guy 37 times, he barely gets 100 yards. That ain't very efficient. I got you. But I will also say it's a yard. And you've gotten a yard earlier in the game more than once going for it on 4th down. That's your ball game.
Even the play action, which was a brilliant play call in that moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's for as much as we like Steve, 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you. He's done it too many times.
That's 3 times now. He had the trick play in 2014 when they had us really pinned back.
The Jameis game.
Yeah, that was, Rashad's worst game as a Nole. He dropped how many passes in that game? I think he got hurt too.
Well, remember, and here's the thing I'll say. I mean, we may not have lost that game. Jameis was about to carve them up. But you really put serious game pressure on Florida State when you're getting 9 yards per carry at that point. If you go for it and go on to score a touchdown, instead he elected to kick a field goal.
2013, yes. Yeah. You go up 21-0. I'm talking about that was the third example if you're working backwards. But the middle one was 2014. That's a low-scoring game.
And he runs the trick play.
It's in the rain. It's Rashad Green's worst game as a Nole. And, he runs like a toss pass or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah. And then this decision here is, hey, look, it is a testament to how well we had played on defense, and I like that we were disciplined. Now, I mean, admittedly, they called timeout and came back out there, and it's sort of a feeling that, somewhere 10 seconds into that play, you realize they're not going to snap the ball, and good on us. But, boy, I'll tell you, if I'm a BC fan today, I'm saying, oh, man, it's a yard. Because here's what you're weighing. Again, you're not going to make up that much yardage in the punt. And unless the guy coffin corners that sucker and puts you down at the 2, still. But, you're still not gaining a ton of yards there. And then also, the thing of it is, I would trust my offensive line and my 240-pound running back to get a yard more than I would my defense to hold on to this with a Tamorrion Terry and some other guys that are so skilled on the other side.
Well, I think it's two things, honestly, that go into his decision, which I don't agree with, but I think these are the factors. Number one, it's Dylan's yards per carry. It's the amount of times we lived in the backfield. It's the physicality we played with. But number two, we have 3 timeouts at our disposal. I think, honestly, if we had 0, he might go for the win there and say this is over. Let's end this thing. I mean, it wouldn't be mathematically over in that moment, but it would be pretty close. You'd have it within a minute, right, before the game. Before you have to either make a decision on a kick or go for it on 4th down. Going forward on 4th down, I should say. So I think that was also a big part of it, which is another good job. We have our 3 timeouts when we need them because even the broadcast said, they get a first down here. The game's not over.
They've got 3 timeouts.
They're in position to go up a full 8 points if they get a field goal or whatever it is. But Florida State does have its full complement of timeouts in this situation.
The other thing is compare and contrast the 2 teams. We do this all the time as Buck and Knowles on this show, but, okay, we start the 4th quarter yesterday, and the Bucks have no timeouts. Oh, great. It's a 1-possession game. We got 0 timeouts.
Yeah.
Of course we do. Because dumbass is over there as usual. I think at the 10-minute mark of the 4th quarter, the Bucks were out of timeouts.
I have to say the most entertaining thing about the Bucks game yesterday was kickoffs. 4 or 5 monumental physical collisions on kickoffs yesterday? Those special teamers, they weren't joking.
No.
Holy cow.
There was one shot that was really ruthless.
I mean, of the top 6 hits this weekend I saw between my 2 teams, one of them was the Keyshawn Helton absorbing of the shot, which I'm sure you heard clear as day from being in the front row.
Yep.
And then continuing to move forward, which is a marvel.
By the way,
how is he not dead?
Not only does he absorb that, he bounces off. It's like, peace?
But he comes off and he looks a little woozy, and David Kelly was grabbing him a couple times.
Yeah,
hey, wait, stay here. Hang on.
Let's make sure you're all right here.
You're going to continue standing, or are you going to fall? And then the other 5 are on these kickoffs, both Tampa and New York. Holy God, not for the faint of heart.
Cool game for Florida State. The other part of that, I talked some with Willie about it, but there's real balance here. They were able to run the ball. You saw that there was a willingness to stick with that. And I think the game plan was one that there was a cogent element to this where you could say, okay, they've got a semblance of what they're trying to do here. They ran again since since they've gone to having Willie Seed play calling to Walt Bell. They play faster.
Yeah. I know you tried to work that in there when he said it was a delegation.
Well, he didn't want to.
Nice effort.
I tried.
He wasn't going to take that.
He wasn't going to take it, but that has to be true because I just think he's less burdened. And, Walt's got one job at that point. So let's go. And he's got to be predicting what they're doing. So it's just now. And it flows better. It just does.
Yeah, but I think, in that interview, one of the most important things he said was, I thought it was important for us to win the way we won the game. Yeah. And the reason I think that is not just because of the 4 quarters effort and what Willie was talking about, but we did shoot ourselves in the foot a lot. We were talking about playing a clean game. In the first half of this football game, it reminded me so much of Bucks Cleveland in the second half. It's just 2 teams trying to lose it from each other. And we fought through those mistakes. Did not say, here we go again. Now, the scoreboard didn't read 17-0, so that helps. But
it helps a lot.
But we could still pack it in that moment. And you were right to question before the game, after the first quarter, when we have these opportunities and we're just not cashing in on these opportunities. Boston College takes the lead back the moment we take the lead from them. They go down the field, the 3rd and 18, all this stuff, and we still fought through to the bitter end.
Well, I thought early I got what I needed. We weren't playing a perfect game because we're a flawed team, but I thought that they showed a physicality that revealed a willingness, most importantly. And that was the first thing I was checking off in my head. The check the boxes thing here. That first quarter, man, when they came off on defense after every series, they were into it. Watching those guys, all of them, interact with each other, watching the coaches interact with the players. I'm talking about defensive players. They were fired up about stops. Willie referenced it a moment ago in that interview, the way they swarmed to the ball. Go back and watch the tape of every offensive series for BC. And short of a couple of plays, what you have is what Harlan preached before the season started and hasn't always been on display, and certainly not the last few weeks.
There was a couple of times where Dillon got to the secondary and you thought, they don't want none of this. I can understand that from a human nature standpoint, but maybe we need to work a little harder to try and tackle this young man. But short of that,
that's it. Only a couple of times. If he squares you up and he's got you in his sights, that's a formidable task. It'd be like asking somebody to bow up and stop Mike Allstott.
Except he's 6'3".
Yeah, this is a horse over here. But Stanford Samuel's tackle in the backfield, coming up with, and it's just him.
Oh, Asante Samuel.
So what I say,
26.
That's a whole.
That was LaMarcus Joyner. I was like, whoa.
He zeroed in.
Terrence Brooks is probably a better example. That was Terrence Brooks right there.
Well, and the way he did it, you talk about a commitment. There was no sort of, I don't like this matchup. It was no, bitch. I'm going to get you.
Go your kneecaps.
Yeah. Well, you got to do that, right? And so, hey, listen, it's not a monumental win. It's an important win, though. And now here we go. The worst thing that could have happened for Florida was what just happened on Saturday for Florida State. And I said that before this game last week. I thought, if I'm a Florida fan, I don't need to see that. I don't need to see them care as much as they cared. I don't need to see them rewarded for playing well with a win, getting some confidence right before that game. You would have had something akin to a sleepy walkthrough at noon had we lost this game after playing our hearts out in the manner that we did, right? You're going to get about as good a game as you could possibly hope for between two pretty bad teams. I'll just say that, right? I think Florida will come in and play really hard because they've got a lot that they can accomplish here. First of all, I know doesn't matter smoke and mirrors. They could win 9 games, right? And the other thing about that is that they would also extinguish the streak for Florida State. So it's a rivalry game and something for them to say, no, sir, you're under thumb right now. And then for Florida State, it's a no.
Yeah, the two teams coming out of the tunnel are going to sound a little bit like Ovechkin after the Stanley Cup.
I think that's true. I really think it's going to be as intense as you could possibly hope for, given that these two teams don't have much to accomplish here. It's for Florida State, it's becoming bowl eligible.
Yeah.
And for Florida, it's just a stature thing. It's not really.
Well, stature in the state, and it puts them in position to have a 10-win season with a bowl win.
Yeah, they ain't going to win a bowl game. They're terrible. But yeah.
Vegas agrees. You think about it. It's a top 10, top 12 team, whatever it is, right? And the Vegas line opens up at under a touchdown against an unranked team with the 2 worst offensive linemen, according to Pro Football Focus in the country.
Right.
But what does that say about how bad college football is this year?
Well, I think there's a level of foregone conclusion in so many things that we talk about. I can't watch ESPN push the revealing of the top 4 anymore. Listen, this is an open and shut case. We're done. It's Alabama, it's Clemson, it's Notre Dame, and then the winner of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Now, I would not have Ohio State in the mix. They're not a good football team. They're playing I talked about the Maryland game. I said, just a feeling. Ohio State wants to lose.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah.
They're not in this thing. Their defense is terrible. I could argue for UCF being where Ohio State is. I really could. I think UCF.
UCF would paste Ohio State right now. The way their confidence is. Ohio State's confidence is. Now, if they were up to everything and they were coached well and there wasn't infighting, Ohio State, I would think, would beat UCF.
Well, they got more talent, that's for sure.
But you're going to struggle with Nebraska and Maryland. Then,
and they just every week they look like a team that's. I don't know. Something's wrong there. I think we know what that something is. But anyhow, the point would be the winner of allegedly the winner of the Ohio State-Michigan game. That's what you got.
The funny thing is, Michigan should be excited about that game, but they've gone from excitement to don't blow this. Don't blow this.
Well, 3/4 of the way through the Indiana game, there was a whole lot of what the hell is going on over here? Yeah, no, I would think. Tonight, Florida State finally plays basketball again. We'll talk about it momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This Day in Sports History. November 19th, 1978. There are many moments that make New York Giants fans despise the Eagles. But the miracle of the Meadowlands might be the worst. With 20 seconds left to play, Giants quarterback Joe Pisaric fumbled an attempted handoff, and Herman Edwards returned the ball 26 yards for a touchdown to give the Eagles the stunning and shocking 1917 victory.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less. Headed to the new Gordos, 'cause Eddie hit a home run just like the old Gordos. Ooh.
Jeff, I'm sitting right here, man. Why do you always speak about me in the third person?
Loving the new Gordos.
You gotta quit singing, man.
Got the outside deck. When the weather shifts, I'm going to sit outside at the new Gordos.
Are we ever going to get there? Can you speed up, please?
Lots of TVs.
1460 Market Street.
Woohoo.
Hi, I'm Jesse Ross, owner and co-founder of Lake Tribe Brewing right here in Tallahassee. When my father, my two brothers, and I started Lake Tribe, we had one simple goal: to create great tasting quality craft beer that reflects our love for the great outdoors and have some fun along the way. If you're in town with 80,000 of your like-minded friends, stop by the brewery off West Tharp Street for a pint or a flight of our vast selection of Lake Tribe beer on tap. Or stop by at the next gathering of the Garnet and Gold. We're open Thursdays and Fridays 4 to 9 and Saturdays from 1 to 9. Lake Tribe Brewing. Find your native spirit.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
The way I always do. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Our schedule this week, I mentioned it earlier. A good time to mention it again here is today and tomorrow. We have Wednesday and Thursday off, but we will be back with you on Friday as we broadcast live from the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. So if you're staying in town, obviously swing on by, and if you're getting back into town, probably need a break from the break. You know what I mean? With all that family, may need to swing past the Corner Pocket. Have yourself a tall, cold. We were hopping at the CP this past Friday. My goodness gracious, people were feeling the Florida State Boston College vibes.
That was crazy. That thing was more crowded than the Clemson
by far.
Pregame.
Wasn't even close.
Yeah,
it was weird.
There was a 4:15 surge. People said, "The hell with the work week."
I'm done with the week. Hey, by the way. We'll, again, be there on Friday, and we hope to see you. And then Tallahassee game day, bright and early on Saturday. So, we kick off at noon. That means we're on the air at
9 a.m.
9 a.m. All right. Well, 9 a.m. You know, I'm going to do a little 9 a.m. post-show mimosa.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
Get on over there. I'm going.
Spoiler alert. We may put the last one in the
last hour.
Wow, yes, that'd be great.
We could put the last hour.
I'm in the Memorial Champions Club, man. I got to get out there.
Got to have some fun.
The traffic. There's going to be traffic, I think, because people want to see this football game.
It's one game, man. I said it. One game changes everything. You know, last week I said if we win the game, it's going to change the way you feel about the next game. It's going to change the way you feel about the season. It's going to change the way about you feel about Willie. It's going to change. It is, and it did. It did. You can see it. You can see it in our inbox. You can see it in social media presence. You can see it on the message boards. You can see it about town. People were happy. My kids had a dentist appointment early this morning. I took them there, walked in. There's a guy waiting with his kid, starts talking to me about the game. And the first thing he said was, I was just happy for those guys, man. They're fighting, and it's been a tough year, and I'm just so happy for them. And then later on, I come here, and I swing by Publix, and guy there sees me and says, hey, great game, fun game. Can't wait to listen to you today. I appreciate all that. And then we started talking about it, and he goes, just weren't you just happy? You could see the joy in those kids. They love it. They want to see this for these kids who have competed by and large and worked hard and bought in.
You want to see it for these kids. You want to see it for this coach. It will be a much more fun experience if you climb to the top with this guy than the previous guy.
Oh, there's no way around that.
I don't care who gets us to the top. Just get us to the top. Short of Urban Meyer or some, Art Briles piece of crap.
Right.
But if he's the guy who can do it again,
it'd be great.
This is going to have a personal touch to it that's unlike anything since Bobby.
Well, I retweeted out Florida State's thing this morning when I got up over a cup of coffee. I just happened to be watching that. I was getting ready to rewatch his press conference in preparation for my interview with Willie. And, I watched just the joy in the heart of those kids while he's blowing the whistle and dancing around. And it made me smile. It's a really cool thing to wake up to. I wasn't joking. I mean, the first time I saw that this morning, it was like 6-something in the morning. And I thought, this is a good way to start the day. I mean, that is infectious. And it's funny, and it's playful, and it's just, it was genuine, The whistle touch is the best because it's in rhythm with everything that's going on. Just the first whistle, the second whistle, and then the three whistles.
Well, and the quote today, too, in the press conference is, I don't want to look like a Jake. Well, you didn't, Coach. You jumped right in.
Hey, by the way, I want to remind you, because, again, schedule's abbreviated this week, but MADSO is going to be open. Madison Social will be open, and Township will be open on Thanksgiving night at 8 o'clock. So if you're staying in town and you guys do the early Thanksgiving thing, you can go to College Town. Parking's free. It's a good time to get down to College Town. Not a lot of kids going to be here necessarily.
Yeah, that's true. That's a draw.
Yeah. So you make your way on over there and do it up on Thursday. They offer the social agreement. You and a buddy can split an order of wings and 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proofs ales, all for just $40. It's fit for all ages. And again, so that's, Township's going to be open. They'll have the $2 house tacos.
Well, they'll also have Florida State basketball on because 9:30 on Thursday night is when we play UAB.
Kind of ridiculous, but all right.
Yeah, I know. Trying to get back from, Palm Harbor to Tallahassee. I'd like to get up early on Friday morning, but you got to make choices now.
Yeah, it's a weird game.
Do I stay up late, sleep later? Do I tape it? What do I do?
You just hope the Noles win. And speaking of which, here shortly, they'll be hitting the hardwood. A lot of fun.
Hey now.
As a week off, an entire week off after we got going there, and it's now a challenge of 4 games in 7 days as part of that Advocare Invitational, but they should be rested.
And did you catch Purdue, Virginia Tech last night?
I did not see the game. No, I missed it.
Now, this was an entertaining game. Purdue was up, I think, 12, 15 points, somewhere in there. Through the first half, you thought, all right, making a statement here over Virginia Tech. Well, the Hokies come and storm back, and this is high-level play on both ends of the court. Good defense, good offense, the ability to create your own shots. Purdue is going to be a handful next week, especially with the fatigue factor on top of it.
Sure. No, I missed that game, and I'm about to switch to mode where it's basketball every night. But I'm not quite that mode yet, and I really wanted to watch both. A lot of the 4 o'clock games yesterday I was interested in for the NFL. And then as the evening got started, I want to watch Bears-Vikings, which turned out to be great.
Which was a really fun game to watch. It was very much a playoff-type game, low scoring, and every possession mattered all the more, details, and Minnesota coughing up the football a few times. So in my house, that has to be on as my
understandably,
second team. Yeah. But I was flipping over to Virginia Tech and Purdue, and frankly, that was the more interesting draw last night. That game was supremely entertaining.
Well, I'll have to go back and watch highlights of that. Front Row Noles is forthcoming, the first look, Front Row Noles, right?
As well as the Monday Night Football Game of the Year. Coverage begins at 7:30 tonight.
How great is that game, man?
Yes, sir. We'll have it on at the
for that game right
executive
there.
Suite.
The Vista. 2 ways you got to be looking out on the court and then looking back over there because that's a game.
Well, and the best team in the NHL, the Lightning, play the second best team, the Predators, at 8 o'clock, too.
Here we go,
Jesus.
Man. Doing some things, everybody. But we'll be back with you tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be a half and a half where we have headlines and Cameron Show, or is it just Cameron Show, or is it all? We'll figure it out. But you'll have content, fresh content tomorrow. And right now, you've got more fresh content. First look, Front Row Noles there, talking about the big win. Good job, Tom. Good job, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great night. Go Noles.